to the point na, ayan na, libre na yung turtle na nakukuha.
Totoo. Sobrang linis ng galaw dito ng BREN Esports, at least on the early game. Now, we're going into the mid-game, mga kaibigan. But this is a commanding lead. This is already 6,000 para sa BREN Esports.
But you don't count out Omega. Sometimes they can also do clutch movements. Lalo na pagdating ng mga late game, I think, BREN, unti-unti lang silang pumapasok sa Omega dito. Pero sa tingin ko, Rob Luna, meron pa rin ibubuga dahil may damage pa rin ang Cho, may damage pa rin ang Esmeralda, meron pa silang hit na ultimate. Ikaw na yung nagsabi nito kanina, mabagal ang Omega. Ngayon, mas mabagal sila sa late game. Pero paano pag, sa early game. Pero paano pag nag-late game tayo?
Well, it's still conditional. Kasi if ever man, umabot tayo ng late game, tapos hindi pa rin nakapag-kuha dito ng mga items dito for the Omega. Actually, ang medyo nagda-drag down dito for Omega, technically their support.
Oo.
Kasi hindi masyado nakapag-gold. Look at that hit. Pinasok na naman dito ng BREN Esports. Ganito na sila ka-confident. Even with the tank, kayang-kaya na nilang i-penetrate dito on the Omega side.
Wala nang pakialam ang BREN sa nararamdaman ng Omega dito. Ganon na sila ka-unfazed. Meanwhile, Toshi dito ang pulado. Tinamaan ng blender ng palaka. Purify habang si GZ ay mag-out na nga. Easy basag para sa BREN Esports sa gitna. Rebo and company pupunta na lang dito sa taas. Hinahunting ang KDA machine. GZ, yung pana, may iwasan niya.
It's gonna be their perfect pick-off. Pero mapatay ba nila dito si Flap
Medyo delay ata ang pagpasok ni Ace dito. Ilang hits na lang. Yung Black Dragon hindi abot pero nandito na. Hindi na mapipigilan ang pag-power spike ni Carl TZ. Napakalupit habang si Lasty ay tatalon. Walang turpit na mangyayari. Rob, sobrang linaw na.
Yes.
Na BREN Esports ang nakakalamang 8,000 gold lead, 8 minutes in. Ika-calculate ko sa math.
Okay.
1K per minute. Ang galing ko.
1K per minute, lupit mo doon.
Oo.
Pero ang mas malupit dito is yung ginagawa ng BREN. Di pa sila nababasagan ni isang tore dito. Tapos kung iisipin nyo din, halos hindi nila makuha kung sino ba, paano ba tayo, ano ba dapat nating targetin, sino ba pwede nating i-burst down. Look at that, nakita natin dito, that was the perfect pick-up na pwede nilang magawa. Yes,
kanina
nakuha nila doon si Flap TC,
sorry, si Flap.
Kapalit ng dalawang buhay nila at nakuha pa yun ni Carl.
Ang dami nilang ininvest na skills para lang makuha dito si Flap TZ. The Chaos Bolts, the kick. Rob, dito ata papasok yung sinabi mo na sana yung Lunox mas tumaas yung level para nakasabay sana sa rotation. Dahil ngayon, bitin yung damage ni Kuya Ace eh.
Totoo yan. Bukod sa bitin, kumbaga in terms of the spells din, yung initiator kasi dito for Omega, yun yung medyo kinukulang talaga sila dito. Kumbaga if di ka na initiate na papasok dito si Hit, at this point, pwede na siya i-burst down to anyone from BREN Esports. Now, sino ngayon yung pwedeng humarap sa kanila? Sino yung pwede nilang i-pick up? The perfect scenario is masipa nila si Carl TC, but that's gonna be hard. Probably pwede nilang kunin dito si Few or anything, pero syempre hindi ang isang Akai, hindi ang isang Balance. And kung makikita nyo, sila, syempre yung magiging frontline at ganito ka-confident kayo ng BREN Esports to take down the first base turret
dahil
ng Omega.
nilabas na dito ang Black Dragon. Masisipa nga ba dito si Carl TZ dahil sila si umikot na. Naging Beyblade at si Heat nandoon sino ba kalaban niya doon sa bandang likod dahil wala nang kampi dito si Carl TZ mag-isa. Hindi na pala kailangan ni Carl TZ mga kampi niya dahil makakaligtas siya. At si GZ, where are you going? Sabi ni Flap. Galit na rin sila sa orange. 19 seconds left para sa Lord. BREN taking the mid lane turret inhibitor 12-2.
Yes. So, what actually can Omega do to come back dito? There's one thing, probably, they could have a lucky steal dito on the Lord. Napakaganda na ginagawa ng BREN Esports dito. Sobrang disiplina. They could be able to try to be very aggressive dito for the side of Omega. Wag nilang palabasin. Well, technically, yun nga yung kanilang ginagawa up until na kayang masolo. Or rather, kahit dalawang heroes nga lang, pwede pumunta doon sa Lord while the other are zoning the rest of the members dito ng Omega.
Zone is the key to victory. Ang hirap eh. Yung BREN kanina, nagwatak-watak na yung laban, Rob, pero bitin yung naging damage output ng Omega. Yun na sana yung pinakamagandang option. And yung arrows dito, unti-unting bumabalik kay Haze.
Yes.
Yung Season 2 na talagang tinitira, binabalaan siya ng mga pana. dito ni Pew. Habang ayun na nga ang mga yung in-out ni Carl TZ, tinamaan na naman. At mukhang pwede na natin isigaw. Game number 1. Ilista nyo na sa tindahan. BREN ESPORTS ang makakakuha.
Pero hindi pa tapos, pero mukhang yun na rin naman yun. Didikit naman na dito yung mga minion wave dito for the BREN ESPORTS. Ang ganda ng kanilang panimula. Naubos halos lahat dito ang Omega. They have to reset on this game. And mukha ngang Manjin, ang Selena, ang isa sa mga pwedeng maging susi ng BREN ESPORTS to take this grand finals.
What a showing para sa BREN ESPORTS. Ang bilis nun, Rob.
Yes.
Ang bilis eh, parang nung natalo lang doon sa early na kuha ni Hajizi ng purple,
Oo.
parang nagtuloy-tuloy na eh.
Oo, hindi na nahinto. Kasi kung iisipin mo, Omega, they have this slow draft. Given that medyo malilate din talaga yung Lunox na mag-level 4 or probably siya yung may iwan doon sa gitna. Pero given na nakuha doon, that was the steal coming from Few, getting the purple buff of Haji. Medyo bumagal siya sa pag-ikot, pagpunta sa kanyang mga ano. Then suddenly, hindi rin makagalaw dito si Hayes sa gitna.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, all throughout eh.
All throughout
Talaga,
no? Talagang buhay na buhay si Few.
Yes, Few.
Ang
Definitely.
tanong dito, Rob, kagaya ng sinabi mo, makakita pa ba tayo ng Selena game number 2?
I don't think so.
Malalaman natin yan, syempre kasama ang ating resident analyst, Wolf. Ikaw naman.
Maraming salamat, casters ko. Kung tatanungin, wag na talaga yung ibigay. That game was definitely won by Few at i-explain ko yan paunti-unti sa game na to. My name is Wolf, your analyst. We're gonna be talking about Game 1 of the Grand Finals of MPL-PH Season 6. Tignan muna natin ang draft. And I would say, this game is weird for me when it comes to viewing it. Kasi ng Omega parang binigay nila yung mga gustong heroes ng BREN ESPORTS. Siguro naisipin dito nila Coach Dale na napaghandaan nila. Unfortunately, it seemed like that's not the case. Let's just say na kinuha ng Omega yung Ling na paborito nila kay Hajizi. Pero binigay din nila yung Lancelot na, if I'm not mistaken, is 12-0 leading up to this point. So 13-0 na si Carl TZ with this Lancelot all throughout MPL-PH Season 6. And looking at the heroes of Omega, there's not much when it comes to counters. In fact, kung ako tatanungin on my personal taste, there's really no catch on the side of Omega. Sabihin na natin merong Cho, merong backshot, you have Lunox na pwedeng mag-ultimate, but hindi nila nahuli si Lancelot at wala silang chance at all na mahuli si Carl TZ sa game na to. And looking at the heroes of BREN ESPORTS, meron silang Selena na nagulo talaga yung lineup ng Omega because of the fact they was able to steal or at least contest yung buff, which we will talk about later. For now, why don't we look at the stats of the players? And overwhelmingly, Carl TZ dealt so much damage in this game, 57,000 at 0 deaths yan. Siguro eventually makakakuha tayo ng damage dealt per death, and I'm sure that it's either Carl TZ or Hajizi who's the leading when it comes to that point. By the way, BREN ESPORTS ay nasa kanila din yung mga top damage dealers sa buong liga. That's Few as well as Ribo. In fact, Ribo, ngayong playoffs, umabot na playoffs, may time na mas mataas yung KDA niya over Carl TZ. That's why you know that this team, BREN ESPORTS, are really dominant throughout the whole season. Now let's look at the highlights of this game. At doon natin makikita unti-unti. Hopefully, meron tayong highlight nung unang play na ginawa ni Few, but unfortunately hindi na. So I just want to take note na itong lead na meron si Carl TZ at this point, if we compare both of the cores, mas mayaman talaga nang hindi amak si Carl TZ. Carl TZ is level 5 at this point, Hajizi is just level 4. There was a play nung unang-unang purple buff take ng Omega doon kay Ling na nanakaw ni Few. Off-cam actually nangyari na yun, but nung tinutok sa kanya yung camera, may buff si Few. Si Hajizi wala. And this was because of probably an arrow na tama yung timing. O kaya flame shot, kasi naka-flame shot dito si Few, which by the way is very crucial in many parts of this game. Yung early lead na nakuha ng BREN ESPORTS, hindi nila binitawan. At dahil nga walang hard catch on the Lancelot, ni Carl TZ, bukod sa malupit yung kanyang galawan, na hindi rin siya mahuli nung kanyang mga kalaban. All to take note, this is a play from Curtizi as well as Hayes na masyadong matagal. Look at Lancelot. Nandun pa siya sa may river, pero dahil nag-gunsplay siya, FlapTZ tried to survive here. Lancelot will take this as a 2-for-1. Tapos siya pa yung core, kaya hindi na rin talaga napigilan. While phenomenal ang ginawa dito ni Few, you have to take note, Lusty as well on this Akai is one of the better performances na nakita natin sa Akai. And BREN Esports din, sa kanilang iba pang mga members like Kribo on this Barrats was incredibly hard for Omega para mag-defend. And actually, yung mga last clashes na makikita ninyo dito is just a result na lang ng economy na meron ang BREN Esports. There's really no way for Omega na manalo na dun sa part na to ng game dahil sobrang yaman na ng BREN Esports at sobrang komportable na nila. So I think that in this particular game, the Curtizi Lancelot, the undefeated, the unkillable Curtizi, 906 Child Prodigy, nagpapakitang gilas naman. But I would say, for Omega, if you're a fan of Omega, man, hindi mo pwede talagang ibigay yung Lancelot or yung Selena, lalong-lalo na pag magkasama laban sa BREN Esports. And maybe that is gonna be the lesson for Omega come game number 2. If you are here to support BREN Esports, nako, I'm sure na sobrang saya mo sa nangyayari. And if you do, scan this QR code. Samantala naman sa mga gustong magpuwersa pa ng marami pang games all throughout, I'm sure that you want to support Omega at this point. Scan this QR code. At syempre, gusto namin makarinig from you guys, lalong na sa pag-elevate ng ating scene dito sa Pilipinas when it comes to Mobile Legends. Just visit fb.com/mplph.official or scan the QR code para makatulong ka. We also would love to hear from you guys, and that will be perfect dito sa pag-fill in nyo ng survey through this QR code or the next QR code. Meron din kayong pwedeng mapanalunan na rewards dyan. So we do hope that you participate. And if you love what you're seeing dito sa MPL Grand Finals, just like to remind everyone na marami tayong mga giveaway codes for you guys. And actually, balita ko meron din tayong idodraw ngayong mismo. So I know that you've been waiting for this. The mythical raffle draw, legendary draw this time in 3, 2, 1. Yun! Congratulations sa mga nanalo ng Magic Dust tickets, Hero Fragments, Premiums, and Premium Skin Fragments. Congratulations to you guys. We will have another draw later. So sana ay nanonood kayo hanggang sa dulo. Pati na rin dito sa mga analysis segment natin dahil dito natin ilalabas yung mga mythical raffle draw at as well as mga giveaway codes na ipapakita natin. So congratulations to you guys. That has been game number 1 pa lang naman ng ating best of 5 series. At after the game, during this segment, sa analysis segment, meron tayong mga giveaway codes na ibibigay para sa inyo. So I encourage everyone at lalo na dun sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam na manood kayo until this point dahil lagi tayong may 3 giveaway codes. And I'm sure that if you want more codes and more fun and entertainment tonight in Championship Sunday, syempre, i-wish nyo na mas marami pa tayong games na mapapanood for more chances of winning. But that was game number 1. A very dominant performance mula sa BREN Esports. Madaming nag-predict na BREN Esports ang mananalo nito. But ang dami ring naniniwala sa Omega. My name is Wolf, and I'm gonna be turning it back to the casters to see if game number 2 will be in favor of Omega this time.
Sa totoo lang, Wolf, napakahirap sagutin, no, Rob Luna? Kasi mukhang sa draft battle na naganap kay Coach Ducky and kay Mr. Worldwide Dale, pwede nating sabihin na 1-0 para kay Coach Ducky. Dahil, Rob, kanina may sinasabi ka about dun sa trinap ata si Hayes.
Parang naiwan si Hayes into such awkward position in terms of the drafting eh. Kumbaga kung mapapansin mo doon sa mga last 3 draft, actually nung BREN kanina, that was the Farsa, the Valier. I just forgot the last band. I think it was a Chango somewhere there. Basta tinorget na nila sa huli yung mga heroes dito ni Hayes. Kasi it's gonna put them on an awkward position. Yes, meron si Hayes dito, like sometimes he uses the Natalia, pero iba kasi yung tank nila noon. It wasn't the Basha. Yeah. So parang ang nangyari, naging parang ano lang sila, reactive. Naghihintay lang sila kung ano yung ibabato sa kanila ng BREN Esports. But Omega, hindi ito yung first time nila na nagkaganito, na parang naunahan sila bigla. On the very first day dito sa atin sa playoffs, it happened to them during Signal Ultras game, and somehow they come back strong. Diba?
At gusto ko yung pinunto mo dyan na ganun yung characteristics ng Omega, no? Pag Coach Dale, nakikita natin siya since Season 1, even though kahit natatalo sila ng game number 1, they know na ito yung kulang sa draft nila and di-a-adjust nila to.
Yes.
And excited ako makita to sa game 2. And yung binanggit mo about doon sa mas pinili na lang talaga nila yung Lunox kaysa mag-Natalia nga dito. Kasi at least, meron pa silang late game insurance.
Yes.
'Di ba? At least, parang pinili na lang nila yung parang better option na less worse. Parang ganon. Tama ba? Parang nag-make sense ba?
It actually makes
Oo.
sense. Pero one thing about that, actually, I'm seeing how the draft works eh.
Oo.
Pero kasi, from the moment na nawala ng purple buff doon si Haji, giving the purple buff on the Selena, we're in a normal, yung mga core na Selena, they really would like to have a purple buff eh. Pero
Oo.
that was a support. So meaning to say, it's like having 2 cores already during the early game. You have this. So ngayon, na libre si Carl to be able to finish his own jungle
To
while
roam, oo.
nagro-roam ang Selena.
Yeah,
Diba?
oo nga.
Yun yung nangyari. So that's one reason kung bakit si Curtis nagkaroon din ng awkward spot doon sa
Sa
bottom
baba.
lane kasi nadadalawan na siya kagad.
Yeah, kumbaga na-trap lahat. And si Toshi, hindi rin niya napanalo yung top lane eh. 'Di ba? It is clear na actually kung hindi niya man napanalo, natabla ni Ribo
Oo.
yung top lane. Kasi again, one of the characteristics ng hero ni Ribo, yung Barats, mataas ang wave clear eh. No, akala mo lang wala, pero pag kinombo niya yung missile expert with so-called teamwork, yung Dora, yung Dora nung Daytona, hindi
Oo.
yung ano, yun.
Yes, yes.
Oo.
Mabilis din.
Ang bilis yung wave clear.
Mabilis
Oo.
yung wave clear. So now, again guys, we have to think of, ano nga ba yung magiging reset dito ng Omega? Ay sabi ko kanina, tanong mo pala sa akin kanina kung makikita pa ba natin dito yung Selena. I think pwede, pero this might the time na baka yung Omega naman ang
gumamit.
gumamit or if BREN would like to ban it out against. Kasi gaya nga ng sabi nung panel natin kanina is that both of these teams di naman heavily relying on the Selena, but whenever they get hands on the Selena, most of the time they win the game.
Heavily contested.
Yes.
Yun yung parang nasa taas ng listahan na hero.
Yes.
Na, anong mga familiar heroes natin? Ito po, Selena. Ganon. Let's see. Dahil mukhang Johead ang priority ba ng BREN, let's see kung ibibigay nila itong Selena sa Omega or ibaban na ba to ng Omega.
I think we have almost the same, no? The blue side din kanina, no?
Hindi, red
Yes.
ang BREN kanina.
Red ang BREN. Alright. So, now, BREN Esports.
Alice. Kahapon pa ayaw ng BREN
Oo.
Esports dito sa Alice.
Even against Onyx PH.
Oo, kasi Onyx PH and Omega, both of them utilizes the Alice. Alam nila kung paano laruin talaga to. At isa si Toshi dyan.
Totoo yan. Totoo yan. So, now, Omega, they're trying to figure out if they are willing to open the Selena again dito for BREN Esports. I think it's still workable if BREN could be able to get the Selena, but they have to work on their support. Kasi they don't want to be reactive. Nakita naman natin kung how BREN Esports take control. Whenever they have, kumbaga you don't want to be in a position na counter-puncher para sa BREN. Gusto mo ikaw yung unang sumusuntok. Kasi whenever you're a counter-puncher, you're just waiting for them to attack first before you do your own.
Correct. Gusto ng BREN sila yung alpha.
Yes.
No? Yung laging mag-uumpisa. And ngayon, sila na nga, nag-umpisa raw ba? Alam mo bakit? Binana nila.
Oo.
Alam nila na pwedeng i-2 picks. I-priority Selena to sa 2 picks ng Omega. Sabi nila, kami lang ang may karapatan na pwedeng gumamit niyan.
Totoo yan. Totoo yan. But Omega here, respecting the Lancelot dito ni Carl TZ, they might try what the panels told us that put Carl TC on an awkward heroes wherein hindi yun yung assassin, Lancelot, or rather the Link. We've seen him play kahapon even against all odds na Harit, nag-perform pa rin. Pero at least there is something different on his playstyle, but the Link will be the priority pick ngayon dito.
Kaso mukhang hindi awkward yan.
Hindi awkward talaga yan.
Kay Carl TZ, hindi awkward yan. Pag nawala yung Lancelot, alam na, parang okay, Link na yung next.
Totoo yan. Now, Omega is thinking if they are about to get their side lanes right now or probably get their support na ngayon na, kumbaga kailangan nila ma-utilize yung tank and support dito ng Omega. You would want to be on the position on what BREN yung kanina, na ang nagdidikta ng tempo was Few and Lusty.
Yeah, ito na ang panahon para ilabas ng Omega yung kanilang Triple H.
Mhm.
Heat, Haze, at saka GZ.
Yeah,
Kumbaga,
fair.
mabigyan na lang ng space si GZ kasi kailangan tumapat ni Heat at saka ni Haze talaga.
Pero
Kay Lusty at saka kay Few.
totoo, looks like Omega dito prioritizes both side lanes.
Side lane
Pero,
na naman.
I mean, the Esmeralda didn't work for them. It's all because of the snowball ng BREN ESPORTS.
Oo.
Pero the Barretts was part of it. And now, Omega has
Oh, no.
the Barretts.
Oh. Sasabihin ko pa lang sana kaya ako nag-own. Parang kapag may link madalas ang BREN, kukuha sila ng mga heroes na kayang pumalo up ng mabilis na damage.
Totoo yan.
At nandiyan ang Parsa. And tinapatan na rin, kaya sabi mo lang, Esmeralda, tinapatan bigla ng tanks.
Yes, I'm thinking right now if Omega would still go for the Basha dito.
Basha.
Oo. Kasi there's gonna be the reason why they had the Basha earlier, syempre of course para sa Esmeralda, pero it's still gonna work for the Tamos dito ng BREN ESPORTS. Now, still thinking medyo secured dito somehow yung first 3 picks dito ng BREN ESPORTS. They do have their carry, they do have this support that can be used even on late game, offensive, defensively. Farsa can do that. But it looks like they want to secure a hero dito ni Had GC.
Yeah, I like the Roger pick dito, Rob Luna. Kasi for sure, in the next ban na dito ng BREN,
Mhm.
ang mga Hajizi heroes. So yeah, I think both of the teams, sa first 3 picks, okay, wala pang masyadong nire-reveal ngayon ang team ng Omega. Medyo safe ang dalawang side lanes na makukuha nila. Ngayon, ano pwedeng mga supports ni Haze? Kanina siya yung naubusan.
We still have
May Balir pa siya, may Chang'o pa siya.
I haven't seen Hayes use Kagura if ever. Pero I was thinking
Kagura,
dito
no?
for BREN, to be honest, what's gonna be their tank? Or rather, other side lane. Yushong, probably, since that, kasi, pero hindi naman na kasi nila priority. They already know that the both side lanes here ng Omega. Pero it look like Omega's targeting here heroes
Lusty.
dito ni Lusty
Yeah, and mukhang si Haze nga ang tinatarget dito
ng BREN.
ng team ng BREN. Look at that Natalia ban. Napakaganda, especially against Few. Sometimes against the Ling. Both of the teams taking their time on banning the last ban. Napaka-importante ng positioning ng bans dito, Rob, no?
Totoo yan, totoo yan.
Akay.
That's gonna be the Akay. Makes sense.
Okay.
It really makes sense. The Akay. Kumbaga, yun yung pang reset din sa kapampasok eh. Pero
Oo.
look at that, Valir
Valir.
still gonna be down. I'm still thinking,
Chang'o.
Chang'o. Will Chang'o work here for Omega? Or we could be able to see dito yung mga nakita natin ng mga supports earlier. That was the Eudora, or even yung Kadita dito that was being used by BREN ESPORTS. Or Chang'o, just to hold on the lanes para hindi masyado mag-snowball. Pero I'm not really sure about the Chang'o dito, pero it might actually work, but they have to pick something here for a hit.
Kung mag-Chang'o dito ang Omega para kay Haze against Few, pareha sila mataas ang wave clear, no?
Oo.
Pero aabot ba? Kasi again, wala na namang lockdown ng Omega eh. Oh, okay.
That is a hit hero indeed.
Oh,
This gonna be hard, honestly, for the side of Omega. They have to get something here. Most of the time, you see Hilda if there is like you have a support like Valir, yung mga offensive support.
Oo nga eh.
So I'm still thinking of what can it be for the side of Omega, kasi it's clearly that Omega want to be the one to set the tempo dito. Having the Hilda is something going, kumbaga mas malalim ka palagi. You're going to the brushes dito. That's gonna be one of their signature tanks.
That's it.
That's the Tigreal. What's it gonna be for Haze? Is it gonna be the Chang'o? Or will they pick?
magbibigay ba sila ng bagong hero kay Haze? Eudora is open.
Eudora?
Kagura is open. Chang'o is open.
Yes. Well, Chang'o might make sense. If they gonna be going for a Eudora dito, it's still gonna be awkward, honestly. Kumbaga, pag nanggulo si Hit, mahirap humabol para sa isang Eudora and just gonna stay on the mid lane.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, ang mangyayari lang is that si Hit, yung iikot around the map and hindi siya ma-accompanyhan dito. That's gonna be the Chango.
talaga.
Makes sense kasi mahirap gumamit ng Eudora on their lineup. Now, looking at the picks dito, BREN Esports has perfect draft. Has a
Yeah.
perfect draft dito. They have their strong support. They have a very, very formidable side lanes. Tamus, X-Borg, even going into late game. Crowd control, AOEs, they
Lasting.
do have it.
Yeah.
Now, what does Omega have? It's
Kunat.
sustain.
Yeah.
They have the sustain. They have the Roger. To be able to deal damage, probably. Mapasok si Few. Mapasok with the Lycan Pounce. Mapasok dito yung Ling. Pero aside from that, if that misses, there are a lot of crowd controls na pwedeng ibato dito ng BREN Esports.
Yes.
Yung mismong
Yes.
ultimate ng Tigreal dito can just save it
Yan.
to Haji alone.
Yun pa lang sana ang gusto ko sabihin, Rob Luna eh. Ang taas ng sustain dito ng Omega nung nakita yung Hilda, quinik-pick yung X-Borg. And I think the X-Borg will burn dito sa kakunatan ng Hilda,
Yes.
ng Barats, the Burst, and even the Esmeralda. Hindi to free game para kay Toshi eh.
Totoo yan.
Kasi yung X-Borg at saka yung Tams, 50-50 matchup yan sa side lane against an Esmeralda eh.
I agree with you. Pero I think Omega dito, their game style dito, their style on how they approach this match is that the Barats and the Hilda continuously na mag-invade.
Oh.
Kumbaga, yun yung
Ito
purpose
dapat
na
yun.
to, yun yung kailangan nilang gawin just to hold on. They do already have the Chango, so meaning to say, hindi agad-agad bababasag yung gitna nila. He could be able to provide assistance dito sa pag-invade ng Barats or rather dito ng Hilda. Pero, if that didn't work, mahihirapan dito ngayon ang Omega.
Nag-agree ako sa'yo, Rob. It's all about Omega shutting down Carl Tizzy. Ladies and gentlemen, BREN Esports is 3 games away para sa championship as Toshi will go to the XP lane, Kurt on the gold lane. Meanwhile, Ribo naman ang tatapat dito sa XP baba at Flap TZ sa taas. At ayan na, kitang-kita mo ang tapatan.
Yes.
Rob Luna, the sights, bro! Yun talaga yung mahirap sa isang Tams at
Yes.
level 1. Pwede kanyang ngat-ngatin.
Totoo yun. It's just so lucky that Flap PC dito yung tipo ng may execute na Tamus. Pero definitely on level 1, walang laban ang Barats over Tamus.
Hirap talaga eh.
Oo.
Ano ba ang nile-level 1 ng Barats? Usually yung expert missiles, di ba?
Yes.
Oo, eh.
And actually, kailangan niya din yun eh, para at least ma-move niya. Saka mas mabilis lang siyang minion wave clear. So, di mo naman din naasahan na makapag-spam ka kagad ng so-called teamwork.
Oo eh. So, Curtis Z na puwersa dito mag-react to the point na may laban na magaganap. Dahil si Flap TZ ay polado, hit, may mahila siya dito. There you go, Toshi. Ang layo ng nilakbay ni
Ang
Toshi.
ganda. Ang
Para
ganda.
lang makuha yung 5-man clash as Carl TZ will secure the purple. Kinuha lang dito ni Hit yung mga bubbles.
Totoo yan.
Na
Totoo
heal,
yan. They
oo.
could have potentially get a lot doon kung nakuha pa nila yung purple buff doon ni Carl TC. That was a nice rotation coming from Omega. Nagsama-sama kagad sila doon. Siguro hindi rin yun in-expect ng BREN Esports that they will be fighting for 5-man agad-agad.
Biglang naging masipag si Kurt dito as pati rin naman si Ribo.
Totoo.
Nung pagka-wave clear, diretso agad sa bandang mid lane at dito mo nakikita yung sinasabi nating side lane matchups.
Yes.
Pero tignan naman natin ngayon dito, Rob, anong nangyayari sa mga support matchups natin dahil mukhang ang umaariba ay ang mga side laners.
Totoo yan, totoo yan. In terms of rotation, so now, Omega, di pa nila masyado na-utilize kung ano yung strength dito ng kanilang draft. Hit still needs to be very active dito. Put the support dito ng BREN Esports if you in an awkward position. Hindi niya ma-utilize yung ulti niya. Toshi here. It's like, mukhang ano yung ano nila dito. Energy shield.
Masisira yung energy shield nila dito. Pero
Oh.
actually, Toshi will defend this. So wala pang nakakakuha dito ng gold para sa dalawang teams, Rob Luna.
We still have a mirror match right
Oo.
now. Pero I guess this is BREN Esports still winning. Kung mag-mirror lang sila up until the late game, BREN Esports could actually outscale the heroes dito ng Omega.
Dahil mas marami silang options. No?
Mhm.
Yung Avaling, mas marami kayong crowd control. pero mas makunat din kasi ang Omega. So hindi mo pa rin masasabi sa talaga, Rob, no? Pero
yan.
yes, tama ka eh. Ako nag-agree ako na yung lane lineup, yung Parsa lineup, mas mabilis eh kesa sa Roger eh. So tignan natin ngayon kung aabot ba tayo sa ganyan dahil nakakatakot na itong Barrets na to na lumaki banda sa may turtle as Curtizy will safeguard this turtle pit. At GZ and Company nandito. Lastly, tignan natin. Gumawa siya ng charge. Implosion. Tatamaan dalawa. Dito na Smelcam. Sino ang kinagat? Sino ang iluluwa? Huli kayo! Carl TZ sa wakas nakuha ng Omega. At ayan na! Kinakalmot-kalmot na sila ni HJZ. Apat ang nawala sa side ng BREN.
Wow, that was a good performance coming from Haji. Alam mo yon, they had a complete box out doon sa may turtle and nakuha yon Carl TC. But on the right moment, kumpleto rin sila doon eh. Medyo na-burn out yung mga spells nila just right after nun pagkuha ng turtle. And rather than Haji using the Lycan Pounce on the squishy heroes dito ng BREN Esports, at triple kill, malaki ang mabuboost nito sa Omega.
Ang ganda na naman ang positioning ni JZ doon sa laban na yon. And sabi ng Omega dito, ayan na, pinapainit lang namin ang laban. Ang init, Rob!
Mainit talaga.
Mainit, hindi ko malaman.
Now, here on the Gillette, instant replay. Ito yung nangyari doon sa may turtle. Look at how closely Omega dito, mga kaibigan. Kumbaga na micro nila. Look at HGC. Just going into the backlanes dito ng buong BREN Esports. Even Ribo, napasok pa siya doon sa loob ng tore.
At saka ang kinagat ay walang iba kundi ang Ling. Actually, hindi ata natin to napansin, Rob, na usually pag nakikita tayong Ling, di ba, hinahanapan natin ng mga lockdown heroes.
Totoo.
Eto, meron dito, ang Omega, Detona's welcome.
Not only the Detona's welcome, the Lycan Pounce can be just directly. Pwede mo nang atakin kagad. Kahit saan pa pumunta, kahit maglikot pa yung Ling. Ay, diretso talaga doon. Basta ito, nasa range.
At eto na, here comes the burn. Para kay Hayes.
Maganda na ngayon ang posisyon dito ng Omega. Yes, they have the 3,000 lead. Pero kasi, ang pinakamaganda for them, nakakaikot palalo dito yung mga side. And thanks to the vision na pino-provide sa kanila ngayon dito ni Hit.
Yep, galit na si Mr. Fundamental dito. The Wind Talker is also up for Hajizi, Mr. KDA Machine. 5-0-1. Pwede nila ituloy-tuloy. Gusto ko rin yung binanggit mo dito kanina, no? Natutulong talaga si Kurt.
Yes.
Kahit anong mangyari, si Heat at si Kurt ang magsasama para mag-invade ng jungle and then sa likod lang si Hayes.
Yes, definitely. Pero eto na, mukhang confident na ngayon dito ang Omega. They want to punish dito Carl TZ. Ngayon, mahihirapan na makakuha ngayon dito ng buff ang BREN Esports. Kayang i-lockdown ito ng Omega right now.
Oo no? Alam na alam. Tignan mo yung item ngayon ni Carl TZ. Chop Suey. Hindi pa niya nabubuo dito yung Azure Blade. Gusto nila sana mag-axe. Para sa para sa kanyang endless battle. So medyo nabibitin yung pag-farm niya dito, Rob Luna.
Yes, bitin talaga. But look at that, how tanky that Detona's welcome. Grabe yung Barrats dito, mga kaibigan. Siya lang talaga nag-absorb dito ng mga binabatong damage coming from BREN Esports.
At walang nakuwang purple buff ang BREN Esports.
I think Carl TC already realizes na hindi niya na makokontest sa ngayon. Yung just go for a side lane push. Ibahin muna natin yung strategy natin and let Omega react.
Okay, kumbaga tagtaas kamay na eh. Sabi nila, wag na, bigyan nyo na yan. Kukuha na lang tayo ng iba. And actually, yun yung isa sa mga magagandang characteristics ng BREN eh. They know kung kailan sila lugi, alam nila kung kailan mag-disperse. Pero ngayon, Omega, isa naman sa mga characteristics nila, alam nila kung kailan sila lamang. Di ba? Hindi naman basta-basta nagpapasindak itong hero na to eh.
Totoo yan.
Ay, itong team na to eh.
Totoo yan, totoo yan. Not only that, alam nila na nagbe-bleed ngayon dito ang BREN Esports, and what is the good way para mas lalong mag-bleed dito is lalong add insult to the injury para sa kanila. Pasukin nyo ng pasukin, pahirapan natin sila ng pahirapan.
Kumbaga, yung Omega, alam nilang may sugat na yung BREN. Ang ginagawa nila, nilalagyan nila ng kalamansi.
Para mas masakit.
Para mas masakit, para humapde. At hindi ka makakatulog noon.
Totoo yan, totoo yan. Pero ito speaking of tulog, BREN Esports dito, they're on the back end. Mukhang magkakaroon na naman dito, probably an uncontested turtle. Looks like Carl TC doesn't really want to go into the turtle pit right now. Medyo Haji nagsisnowball siya dito. We're just on the mid game.
Grabe.
Pero he's already on the 501 KDA. Kaibigan,
Rob
opensa
Luna.
galing sa Omega.
Opensa talaga. At niray mo pa. Kinagat na. Kakagat na. Niluwa. Si Lasty dito. Ayaw niya daw ng lasa. Habang Lasty, ang ganda ng implosion. Pero, nasaan yung damage output? Wala. Omega. Tuloy-tuloy ang pambubusabos. Kurt Easy papasok pa rin. Buhay pa rin siya. Flap. Daisy, sinubukan niya ang kanyang pinakamalupit na pagligtas. Pero Omega pa rin ang nanaig dito sa bottom lane. Nandito na rin si Toshi. Ayan na nga, pinapaulan ng mga tela. Omega will get the bottom tower.
Yes, and look at that. Just right. Pag-respond doon ng Purple Buff, kuha kaagad dito for the side of Omega.
Grabe,
so
no?
that just only mean, pero tignan muna natin dito, the Gillette instant replay. Look at how Courtesy, he's the one, and as well with Heat, yung nang-zone out for the rest dito ng BREN Esports. Wala na nga silang pakialam dito sa inner turret sa baba ng BREN Esports. That's sobrang tanky nung front lines nila dito. They just have to absorb everything and go into the backlanes dito ng BREN Esports.
Parang unti-unti ng Omega. Itong game, Rob Luna.
Yes.
Tama yung sinabi mo doon after that Gillette instant replay.
Pero take note,
Oo.
the heroes dito for BREN Esports are also strong in terms of defending. They have the Farsa. Pagka nagkamali ng pasok, lalo na sa base turret ang Omega, there is still the implosion from Lusty. So, there is something, given na may Xborg sila, time and time dito sa MPL Season 6, we've seen a lot of epic comebacks just by the Xborg.
Pwede tayong oo, dahil ang taas ng wave clear talaga ng BREN Esports. And if I'm not mistaken, two of the most irritating heroes na hindi mo matatapos kagad yung game, Farsa at saka Xborg.
Definitely.
Dahil ang daya kasi ng mga ulti niyan parang hindi cool, parang yung ulti nila hindi cooldown ng pang-ulti.
Sobrang bilis.
Sobrang
Tapos,
bilis
about
Oo
naman dun sa Xborg, alam mo yung akala mo mamapatay mo na, pero biglang magkakaroon ng Firaga armor. Tapos meron pang biglang nag-cooldown yung immortality. Parang it's almost paulit-ulit. Lalo na kung hindi nyo siya kagad mababurst down. And something then for late game, syempre, yung fire streak, tuloy-tuloy yan. Pagka nahatak kayo, kumbaga ang katatakutan mo na lang dito for the side of BREN Esports is their team fight potential going into the late game. But, if Omega could be able to dismantle dito, kumbaga mapagwatak-watak nila dito, makapick off sila ng isa, then mag-split po sila. Kumbaga, wag lang silang pumunta doon sa posisyon na magkakaroon ng magandang implosion si Lusty and mag-layer yung mga skills dito ng BREN Esports.
I guess ang sinasabi mo dito, Rob, is that Omega, kailangan lang nila respetuhin na ang taas pa rin ng team fight capability ng BREN.
Oo. At hindi rin imposible na umabot tayo into more than like a 15 minute. Kasi nga, kayang i-hold They do have this Farsa.
Oo. So, hindi pa tapos.
Hindi pa.
Hanggat
Definitely
walang
hindi pa.
nababasag na base, hindi pa tapos. Pero Omega umuunti-unti na. Sky, Guardian, Helmet para sa Barats ni Courtesy. Best item para dyan. Nakukuha na rin siya dito ng Azuri Blade. Meanwhile, looking at the Esmeralda ni Toshi, Calamity Reaper and going Holy Crystal ata to?
Holy Crystal na kagad. So, basically here on the side of, they already had their own items. Medyo, in terms of damage potential, Omega already had it, pero they need to be disciplined dito. Kumbaga, hindi naman na makalabas yung BREN just play. Play strategically. Kunin natin, kaya natin kunin dito uncontested na Lord unless manakaw ni Carl TC. This is still a link.
Parang ang ginagawa ngayon ng BREN dito, ini-split na lang nila yung mapa no? By the way, Rob Luna, may nakita din akong extra item kay Flap TZ dito, Deadly Blade.
Yes, he actually needs
para
it.
Sa Barats.
Kay Barats and kay Toshi.
Oo. Requirement no?
Totoo yun. Kailangan din talaga nila yun. Kasi hindi mo naman aasahan lagi na si Few will be the one to cancel the regeneration dito.
Correct.
Yung mga makukunat na hero from Omega. Pero I think Omega dito, they realize that bakit tayo bakit natin i-risk na baka ma-steal? If we could be able to pick off muna before we actually take the Lord.
Kaya naman no? Pitas na lang muna. Disiplina para dito sa Omega. BREN Esports waiting patiently sa gagawin ng Omega. Rob, yung sinabi mo kanina na counter puncher, mukhang nasa BREN Esports ito ngayon.
Oo.
Naghihintay sila na pumasok ang Omega. Walang setup na magaganap para kay Lasty this time.
Definitely. This is a very team effort. At ang pinaka naging nagustuhan ko rito for Omega is gumana rito si Hayes.
Oo.
If Hayes is having a good game, definitely Omega, the whole team is having a good game.
Ed mukhang confident nga si Hayes dito. Popping the meteor shower. Rebo. Ito yung sinasabi mong spam capability
Yes.
ng BREN Esports.
Oo, I think it's either Omega waiting for a pick-off or baka hinintay na lang nila yung 12-minute mark para at least Luminous Lord yung makuha nila dito.
Pero Carl Tizzy, nag-hello si Toshi dito sa dati niyang ka-teammate. Kaya nila makuha si Carl. Naamo siya ni Haji. Oh!
I think nag-cancel yung TP niya doon. It's all because of the glowing wand.
Oo! Hello, old teammate!
Hello talaga dahil this is also an indicator na pwede na nilang kunin ang Lord. That's 25 seconds on the death timer ni Carl TC. That's more than enough para kunin tong unang-unang Lord ng laro.
Omega tilting their old comrade. Napakainit naman nung pitas na yun. Parang tinarget talaga ni Toshi. Parang hindi iniwan ni Toshi nung nakita niya si Carl TC dun sa baba. Usually yung iba parang iwan mo na yan, ling yan. Hindi.
Kasi may flinch poise naman yan.
Abulin nyo. Parang ganun yung naging command eh.
Oo, and I think they already know na gagawin yun ni Carl TC. That's one of their winning condition na pag-reactin nila papunta doon kay Carl. Pero hindi kasama doon yung mamatay siya. Pero now, dahil nagawa dito ng Omega na ma-pick off si Carl TC doing the side lane pushes, nakuha nila ng libre ang Lord.
At ngayon papasok na ang Lord dito. Max range na pwede airstrike pero max range siya ng meteor shower dito. Si Pew ay tumatakbo na. Sabog mula dito kay Rebo pero walang tatamaan actually kundi yung Lord lang. Meanwhile, sabi ng Omega dito na lang tayo sa bottom lane. Pwede naman natin siyang i-push lang habang si Lasty nagsiset up ng implosion pero kinagat, nilabas. Ay! Naku po, flicker out para kay Curtizy at godlike na si KDA Machine at si Toshi. Ako rin, Kuya Manjin, mainit din. Tatlo ang nawala sa BREN Esports at pwede na nating sabihin na tabla ang score para dito sa Grand Finals. Omega taking game number 2.
Wow! Omega coming back on game number 2. That was a very convincing win para sa kanila. Grabe yung disiplina na ginawa nila doon. Sobrang timing din kasi parang ang ginawa doon ni Hayes, pagka feather airstrike ni Few, that's the time siya nag-meteor shower at hindi na na-maximize ni Few kasi siya na yung tinatamaan. Now, all throughout, yung pwesto din ng the rest of the Omega, hindi sila masyadong nagdidikit-dikit. And gaya nga sabi mo, implosion, dinetonas, welcome. And nung nawala, yung mga set dito coming from BREN Esports, it's like already a go signal. Pwede nang pumasok, pwede nang tapusin. We have the Lord and take it from there.
Rob, ngayon lang natalo ang BREN Esports ngayong playoffs.
Yes. And
lahat ng nakuha nila ay 3-0.
Totoo yan. And ngayon, since this is gonna be their first loss on the playoffs, mukhang makakakita na tayo ng mga iba pa na pwedeng ibato dito ng BREN Esports as they haven't shown enough. Yung mga alas nila hindi pa totaling nakalabas pero ngayon mukhang kailangan na.
Cancelled yung implosion na didetonas welcome. Ang daming mga naganap pero syempre mas maraming explain sa atin ng ating tropang analyst na si Wolf. Ikaw naman, man.
Thanks so much, casters. Totoo nga, ang daming mga maliliit na bagay na nangyari sa game na yun. And they add up. And this is amazing kasi ito yung gusto talaga natin makita for the Grand Finals. My name is Wolf, your analyst, and it's gonna be talking about game number 2 of this best of 5 series kung saan 1-1 na ang ating score. Let's look at the draft. Interestingly, binigay ang link agad. BREN Esports actually picked it up first. Tapos ang Omega, ang sagot nila is Roger. Now, I would say, ang pinakamagandang pick dito is yung Barats. Traditionally, inisip ko na parang hindi problema para sa Ling yung Barats dahil pwede ka mag-Tempest of Blades bago ang Detona's Welcome. Pero sabi kasi ng Omega dito, hindi ka makakapasok Carl TZ unless meron akong Detona's Welcome. In fact, Detona's Welcome in this game, hindi siya ginamit ever kay Ling. It's just the threat of that Detona's Welcome na talaga nga naman nagpahira. Para alam mo yung sinasabi nila na ang pinakamalakas na ulti ay yung ulti na hindi mo ginagamit muna. That's how strong it was then. It's all about the threats. I want to say though, Omega, this is a game that you can really attribute para kay Hayes. In many of the outplays, kung ako ang tatanungin personally who's my MVP, it's probably Hayes. And maybe, pagtingin natin dun sa mga stats nung ating game, post-game data, dun natin makikita kung gaano kalaki yung impact nitong hero to. That is Hayes with 34,000 damage, right? Pero malakas din ang performance si Cartesi. Wow, that's interesting. Pati na rin si Toshi. Pares, sabay-sabay sila dito nag-online. Kaya naman halos lahat ng nasa Omega ay mas maganda. And if you're looking at their damage output, dito mo masasabi na talagang team fight-based ang Omega. Stats don't lie. Tingnan mo yung damage output ng mga core heroes. Actually, mas malakas pa sila kay Hajisi when it comes to dealing hero damage. Kasi nga naman, they always want to group up. Hayes, obviously, a very good player. Kahit na nung nahirapan sila sa early game, nung nakita nila yung timings nila until level 4, I think, hindi na sila nagpatumpik-tumpik pa nung may ultimate na si Hayes. It's all about pressure, pressure, pressure para sa Omega. There came a point, pag tinignan natin yung highlights natin, na nakuha ni Hayes yung dati niyang, yung kilala niya na si Cartesi, even with the Chang'e, di ba? Parang, who would have thought that a Chang'e can outplay a Ling? And only Hayes can do that. Half man, half amazing Hayes. Wonderful team fights obviously for Omega. Lalong-lalo na yung paggamit ng Meteor Shower. Gusto lang din mention na nung pinapanood namin ni Midnight at ni Reptar itong game na to, napansin namin na kapag tumatalon si Rebo on this last Insanity, what you do is just to put the Meteor Shower up para wala ka kagad ultimate. And makikita natin sa Omega na para mawala agad yung last Insanity at hindi ganun kataas yung impact sa team fights. That's what I meant. And unfortunately, hindi natin nakita yung highlight kung saan si Hayes ay sobrang ganda ng angulo para sa ma-counter yung feathered airstrike. Kasi bakit nga naman tatambay si Few with the feathered airstrike kung pinapaunanan siya ng Meteor Shower? And as a result, walang base defense, kumbaga, ang side ng BREN ESPORTS dahil na zone out nga sila. Or at least actually hindi nga zone out eh. More like na out-poke ang BREN ESPORTS in this game, even in the big team fights. MVP, however, it's still this guy, Heath, Mr. Fundamental. Hilda made it really hard for Ling to farm. Alam natin, traditionally, this is an answer to the Ling or any buff-based type of hero. Yung mga sobrang dependent sa buff ay nakukontra ng isang hero na malakas mambuli sa jungle. It is definitely Heath. Kabisado ang Hilda. Seems like yun lang naman talaga ang recipe sa BREN ESPORTS. Don't give the Lancelot, don't give the Selena, and counter their heroes in the process. At nakita natin, para naman sa Omega, napakagandang performance on the Roger and this team fight comp as well. And so far, 1-1 na nga ang ating series in this best of 5. And I'm sure that you're so happy with Omega's performance. If you want to show your support, scan this QR code. Para naman sa mga fans ng BREN ESPORTS, ganun din. Just scan this QR code to show your support. MPL-PH is growing talaga, guys. We are now at the game number 3 of a best of 7 matchup for the Grand Finals. If you want to help out, visit the official MPL-PH page sa fb.com/MPL-PH.official or scan this QR code. Would like to hear from you as well. If you can fill in the survey to win rewards na rin, just scan this QR code or the next one na makikita ninyo dahil gusto namin makarinig from you guys. And don't worry, we will be rewarding you for that. Speaking of rewards, I believe that we still have giveaway codes for you. So kung gusto mo pa ng mas maraming giveaway codes, magdasal ka na marami pa tayong games dito sa ating best of 7 match. 3 giveaway codes to be given every single match. And kung ako tatanungin nyo ng tip, wish na mas maganda pa yung palitan ng strats at ng heroes nitong ating mga teams. Because BREN ESPORTS, I'm sure that their pocket of strategies, yung playbook nila ay malalim pa yan, as well as Omega, konti pa lang. We're just scratching the surface of both of these teams, and I'm sure that we will get to see more as this series develops. Mga kaibigan, that was game number 2 of best of 7 series between BREN ESPORTS and Omega in this grand final ng MPL-PH Season 6. My name is Wolf, your analyst. Makikita nyo pa ako mamaya, pero ngayon, ibabalik muna natin sa ating mga casters.
Maraming salamat, Wolf. And wow, Heat is our MVP, pero I can therefore say na halos lahat ng side ng players ng Omega ay naging as one para doon sa game na yon. Ang dami nangyari eh. Detonas welcome, canceled yung implosion, canceled yung mga ganito. Ang maganda pa dito, Rob, kakabanggit mo lang, yung game natin tight,
Aha.
pero hindi siya matagal.
Oo. Kumbaga, both of the teams know kung pag yung hindi nila na basta-basta nawawala yung lead sa kanila. Pag they know, pagka nag-snowball sila on the early, natitake nila yung lead, they're very disciplined na not to give anything into to your opponent. Kung mapapansin mo nga yun, 'di ba? On the 10-minute mark, pwede na nilang kunin yung Lord.
Oo.
But they also respect dito yung link ni Carl TC that baka ito pa yung maging comeback potential dito ng BREN. Kasi kung tutuusin, hindi na sila makalabas eh. 'Di ba? So, they look for, hinanapan nila kung saan pwedeng mas magkamali pa lalo ang BREN. Wherein, yun nga, lumabas doon si Carl. He tried to do a split push, pero siya, parang nabait siya eh. Na, ay, lumabas ka, ito na. Targetin na natin. Pero
Ganun
that
na yung
was a
nangyayari.
very rare sight to see, no?
Oo,
Na si Carl TC,
Ay, ma-shutdown.
oo, na-shutdown siya.
At-
Wala rin siya naging kill during the time.
At ang interesting pa kasi dito, given the history between both of these teams, before kasi nag-season 5 ang MPL, Carl TZ was a former member of Omega.
Oo.
And hindi ganun katagal yun. So, pwede ba nating sabihin dito na alam ng Omega, basahin, alam nila kung paano i-shutdown si Carl TZ?
Oo, posible.
Posible eh.
Kasi not only that, they actually know how each other play. I mean, kumbaga personally, hindi lang not only on the VODs, not only on the replays nila na nakikita ganito yung mga hero niya. They actually know him how he plays on the real life basis.
Oo.
'Di ba? So they know how to tilt a certain player lalo na kung nakalaro mo na siya dati.
At kilala kasi talaga nila. Ganun yun eh. Pag kilala mo yung tao, may ano yan eh, may parang ini-intimidate mo siya
Mhm.
or parang minsan gigil ka sa kanya.
Yes,
May
yes.
ganun eh, di ba?
Pwede naman. Pwede siya. Pero syempre, kailangan i-hold din yun ng Omega. Pero I really
Oo,
like.
kasi baka makaano pa eh.
Oo,
baka
kasi pag
makasira.
nanggigil ka kasi on a certain player, you might do unnecessary na mga things, na
Oo.
hindi dapat.
Tama.
Oo. Pero ito
Okay.
it looks like BREN ESPORTS are willing to give the Selena kay Hayes.
Aha.
Okay.
Ine-expect natin kanina na pwede rin gamitin ng Omega to
Mhm.
at ito ang
Ang bilis.
priority pick
oo.
nila.
Pero ang bilis eh. To be honest, isa sa naging key for both of the wins ng bawat team was the Barretts. Kasi yung yung presence niya during the early to mid game, tapos lalo na nahihirapan na kumuha. Yes, hindi masyadong nanakawan during the early game doon si Carl.
Oo.
Pero yung continuous aggression, saka there's something different on the rotation of Omega kanina.
Iba,
Yung
no?
biglang nag-5-man sila.
Oo, parang
Oo.
natutunan nila na itong BREN, hindi natin pwedeng pabayaan na si Few at si Lasty
Mhm.
free na naglalakad lang ng naglalakad.
Totoo.
Kailangan natin mag-5-man para tumapat. At nagulat yung BREN doon. Ngayon, anong adjustment yung gagawin ng BREN nung nalaman na nila na sumasama na si Toshi, sumasama na si Curtizi?
Wow.
Ganun pa rin ba? Oh!
I was really surprised on how kung nung first game medyo parang nagtansyahan pa yung mga coaches natin eh. Parang ang bagal pa nung ikot ng mga nung drafting nila. Pero ngayon parang they already know doon pa lang sa third pick na yon, alam nila na kukunin na kagad yung Roger kasi if Omega wouldn't take a hero dito for Haji, definitely yung mga
Ibaban
ban dito
Oo.
ng BREN Esports is definitely targeting Haji na. Since meron na siyang hero dito, ang bilis din ng pagkuha dito ni Lusty. And this is something kumbaga, we could put it in the game kahapon with MPL-PH on the Kufra dito
Oo.
ni Lusty na sobrang nabantayan niya yung Harit.
Yeah.
That was the match na sobrang ang hirap ng Harit para kay Carl TC, but because of Lusty dito and the rest, of course, hindi basta-basta siyang napapasok ng Natalia nung time na yon.
Yeah.
Now, they have this Lusty, now they're just looking for ano ba ang pwedeng i-partner dito na support
Kay
para
Lusty.
mas maging aggressive pa ang Kufra niya.
Hinihintay natin itong few hero na nandito.
Mhm.
Well, gusto ko lang banggitin sa Rob, isa sa mga teams na nagpo-pull up ng 2-mage setup ay ang team ng Omega.
Yes, they did
I
it.
think ito yung rason kung ba't binan ng BREN itong Chang'o
Mm,
at itong Farsa. Kasi pwede pang
side lane.
side lane mage itong si Toshi.
Totoo.
So ngayon, since nawala yung Chang'o, ang natitira ba para kay Few ay Valir? O makikita na ba kaya natin ang Kadita?
Kadita works well, I think. Posible yung Kadita or even Eudora. Diba? They were the only teams that were actually been using those kinds of meta dito. But that's the reason why they ban it. Alam din nila.
Binan nila.
Alam din ng Omega.
Grabe
Oo,
yun.
so,
grabe yung
ganun-
call natin. Grabe yung call ng Brendan doon.
Oo, ganun nila kabasa ang bawat isa. Now, what will be the final picks dito na Omega? They still don't have a tank. They still don't have one more side lane. I doubt they're gonna go for 2 mages dito. If they do, what is it? Pero mukhang malabo na. Wala na
Malabo
yung
na
Farsa and
Oo,
Chango that could do the work.
The side
They
lane.
could do another Lunox pero it might be too
Is it-
clunky para sa kanila.
Is it possible na mag 1-1 itong Omega ngayon?
It's gonna be too
Toshi.
slow. It's gonna be too slow.
Ang bagal, no?
Oo,
Bagal.
masyadong magiging mabagal. Tapos, ito yung yung Brusco lineup eh.
Ng
Ay,
Bren eh.
expect
Oo,
mo na to eh.
Back siya.
Alright.
Ruby. Okay.
Okay.
Side lane, Ruby. What is the hero for Pew? We're waiting. Okay.
Alright,
Valir na talaga.
Valir really makes sense dito. Ito yung parang mas aggressive approach. We've seen this countless of time. I think Signal Ultra, ito ganito yung sort of yung lineup nila together with BREN ESPORTS right now. So, now, looking at the draft dito, Manjin, who do you think would take the lead here on game number 3?
Rob, nararamdaman ko na nanalo ang Omega bigla sa draft. Parang nag-react ang Bren
Mhm.
dito sa Omega.
Yes. Sa akin naman,
Lalo na nung binandin yung Kadita eh. Parang
parang alam nila eh.
alam
no?
na eh.
Oo.
Oo eh. Sa'yo?
Sa akin naman, may mga may mga things to consider eh. If Kufra dito and the Valir, kumbaga mas maging dominant sila on the evades dito. Kasi yun lang naman din talaga gagawin yan. Hindi naman ng Valir sa Kufra, hindi naman nila na kailangan samahan yung Ling eh. Kumbaga iiwanan na nila yan going into early to mid game eh. Yung rotation dito, ang maglalaban talaga na panonoorin natin dito is yung dalawang tank and yung support ng magkabilang team. Pero may slight advantage probably dito ang Omega since they do have a vision on the traps, yung mga arrows definitely
Pwedeng vision.
Hindi mo mapansin, bigla kang tinamaan. Pero meanwhile on the poke side, nandito naman
Ang Bren.
sa BREN
Ang
because
Bren,
that's of the
oo.
Valir.
Yeah, I get you. Even the Khalid can put in pokes
Totoo yan.
dito sa laban na to, no?
Exactly. Tapos ang maganda pa dito since this gonna be this on the BREN side in terms of the poke, mas dominant or mas clear sa kanila na mangi-invade sila tapos kasama nila yung Barats.
Oo nga. So, interesting. Mukhang Bren pa din pala itong possible early game rotation.
Yes.
Dahil nga sa capability sa range.
Totoo yon.
Nung Valir, sa range ng Kufra.
Pero if there's unlucky arrow coming from Haze, pwedeng ma-hold yon ng Omega and probably take it from there. Pero yun na.
Makikita natin yan as game number 3 will start. Rob, usually itong game number 3 parang ano na to eh, 2 games na lang eh. Pero naalala ko, kailangan pa pala ng 3 games.
Parang kakasimula pa lang natin ng best of 5.
Oo. Ano lang pala yung kanina, show match na 1-1.
Oo, show match pa lang yon. Show match pa lang. Ito na talaga yung tunay na laban. Kumbaga nag-appetizer muna ang bawat isa.
Appetizer sa main dish.
Totoo.
Kakaiba yun. Eto na, tignan natin. The lane matchups. Ang makikita
Ganda
natin
ng pwesto
ang ganda
dito
ng pwesto ng
ng BREN.
Bren. Oo. Dito sa bandang sa bandang likod ng third ng purple. Meanwhile, Revo, kinatan siya dito ni Kurt TZ. Napaturo ka dyan,
Oo, I mean, in regards dun sa pwesto, alam kasi nila there's gonna be a possible invade doon sa purple buff dito ni Kurt TZ.
At mukhang ngayon na nga yung invade. Here comes an arrow coming in. Hindi nag-proc dito yung passive ni Pew. Para kay Haze, the Haze and Pew matchup ay napakalupit talaga habang si Heat naman ngayon ay tumatakbo na lang. There you go. First blood para sa side ng BREN because of the Desert Tornado in the Sandwalk. Toshi, aalis kayo. Pew, flickering in. Isa pang hit. Maabot pa yung stun? Hindi na aabot.
Grabe. That was the poke coming from the Valir. Kahit isipin mo nag-revitalize na doon yung Basha, pero the continuous damage from the Valir, kinaya pa rin nila yon i-take down. And it's a great anticipation coming from BREN ESPORTS, pero may bawi ang Omega.
Oo nga. Habang si Flap TZ naman, here we go. Hindi aabot. may bawi ang Omega, no? Parang okay lang kahit namatayan sila doon, 1:1. Pero ang nangyari lang, nagka-delayhan lang ng Bucks eh. To the point na nag-mirror bigla yung dalawa, Rob.
Nag-mirror even in terms of outer turrets dito both top and bottom lane. Pero I think mas nanaig doon ang Omega because they almost depleted. Rather deplete nga nila yung energy shield doon sa ibaba.
Lahat. At dahil doon lamang sila ng 500 gold. At ganito, ito yung makukuha mo sa Roger mas mabilis bumasag ang Roger, lalo na kung naka-wolf form siya. So, kitang-kita natin, Omega playing mind games right now. Laban sa BREN Esports. Even though BREN, sila may capability mag-initiate, naharangan sila ng pana at naharangan din sila ng mga paggulong-gulong ni Heat.
Totoo yan. Pero it's still BREN Esports, they are the one who's setting a tempo dito. Pero makikita nila dito si Heat sa loob.
Heat, papasok, pero papasok din yung pana. Tatama dito kay Rebo, Tempest of Blades, so pasok ngayon kay Toshi. Habang yung Lycan Bounce ay nandun na din. Heat ang unang mawawala. 10 seconds out. Habang yung Ruby yung next. At pinapaapoy-apoyan na ng Vengeance Flame. Dito ni Few. At mukhang kukunin na ng BREN ang mid tower.
That was a very unfortunate na paggulong doon sa loob ng Brushes. There was like 3 or 4 members doon ng BREN Esports was waiting talaga na merong manggulo kasi malapit na rin doon. I mean, nandun na yung turtle, nandun yung side din ng turtle. Tamang-tama yung pag-pick off doon sa Basha. And ito na naman. This is a way different on the doon sa unang may Selena. But mamaya na natin yun. The Gillette Instant Replay, ito clearly pinakita sa atin dito yung pagpasok doon ni Heat. Even with the ultimates coming, medyo nasulit din sila yung Tempest of Blade dito ni Carl TZ.
Sulit na sulit lahat.
Oo, pati, I mean, yung mga ultimate nila like the Raging Sunstorm, Desert Tornado, tuloy-tuloy, tas dikit-dikit pa din sila doon sa loob.
Pero Rob, even though BREN ang nanalo doon sa teamfight na yun, ang nakakuha ng Turtle ay Omega. Ito na kaya ang pinakaunang matagal nating game kasi
Posible.
halos tabla lang ang nangyayaring exchange ng gold at ang nangyayaring exchange ng mga buffs.
Yes. Pero kasi, kung iisipin mo dito for the side of BREN Esports, this is somehow like an ulti-dependent. Yes, tas medyo matatagal ng konti ang
Ayun
cooldown.
lang.
Tempest of Blade, Detona's Welcome, tapos Tyrant's Rage dito coming from Lusty.
Oo.
Pero
speaking-
once they have those spells,
Na
they
shoot.
could definitely win team fights.
Speaking of Detona's welcome, welcome sa top lane si Kurt Daisy, getting a taste of your own medicine. Rebo, sabi niya, kala mo ikaw lang ang marunong mag-Detona's welcome. Kaya ko rin yan. Habang actually, nag-mirror lang ulit kasi si Toshi nakabasag naman sa baba. So hindi ganoon kalayo yung gold dito, Rob Luna. 2,000 lang. What is happening? Ibang klase to
Dikit I mean, in terms of kill, lamang talaga dito ang BREN. Pero look at the goal. This is only 5,000 lead. In terms of map, slightly Omega got this. Pero tingin ko, sobrang tabla pa rin to The 2,000 lead, yun nga lang, it's still BREN the one commanding or having the tempo.
Lagi. Kasi hindi pwedeng ipang-initiate ni Hayes yung pana. Kasi kung papasok siya, pwede silang itulak. Nung Kupra, itulak din ng Balir. There you go. Arrow coming in, pero hindi na magbabago. Siguro, since alam kasi ng BREN, na best pick din nila yung Selena, alam din nila paano counterin, no?
Oo,
Parang after nung pana, kailangan lang may nakabantay.
Yun din kasi yung part of the power spike din kasi ng Omega if the arrow will connect. Pero if not, it's still, Valier will still outclass dito ang isang Selena.
Oo, no? Pag hindi talaga tumatama yung pana, the damage output of the Valier. Meanwhile, Toshi comes in with the I'm offended. Arrow coming out of the Selena. You with the Vengeance Flame. Turtle has been slain mula dito kay Carl TZ. He will try to poke Toshi as both of the teams magdi-disengage na lang, Rob.
Totoo yan. Now, we are clearly seeing dito, what's the, yung similarity nung previous 2 games into this game. I think it was the Barats.
Barats talaga,
yung
no?
yung Barats kasi right now, hindi kumbaga right after the laning phase, he doesn't di na niya kailangan talaga mag-stay. Kumbaga kasama na siya lagi sa rotation and yung Detona's welcome, yung resilience niya dito, yung kunat ng Barats, sobrang hindi kayang i-peel off kagad ng mga damage dealers dito ng Omega.
Ang ganda na pinoint out mo yan, no? Parang ang Barats after nung laning phase, nagiging support
Oo.
Parang, so, ibig sabihin, nagiging tatlo yung support nyo. Dalawang tank. Parang meron kayong dalawang tank na
Yes,
2-core
definitely.
setup. And then, eventually, yung mage support nyo, biglang magiging carry sa huli.
Totoo yan. Totoo yan. And that's one reason then kung bakit ang hirap pasukin ni Few. Yes, we know the Valier is just squishy. Even Carl TC, rather GC, pwede niya i-like and pounce kagad doon sa loob yung Valier.
Oo.
Pero there are a lot of mechanics na kailangan mong na iwasan. Well, of course,
Iwasan
pwede ka pa rin namang itulak. Pero I guess yung perfect crowd control dito ng BREN Esports is yung nagpapahirap dito sa Omega.
At hirap na hirap talaga silang pumasok dahil si Carl TZ ay napakadali lang para sa kanya yon. Temples of Blades at kinagat na naman. Ram, yam, 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 yam. Rapsi, sabi dito ni Rebo. At ayun na nga, 8-1 killing spree. Dalawa mawawala sa Omega.
Yes. That aggression looks like, ito na yung pinag-usapan natin kanina, Manjin. Now, one team has this lead. Eh, ang hirap i-comeback.
Ang hirap,
Nakita
oh.
natin yan on game 1 and game number 2 na walang comeback. Definitely. So now, we'll be seeing on how disciplined ngayon dito ang Omega. They still have their winning conditions dito. They have this Toshi, sustainable, Haji, still on the Roger. They're still damaged. Pero, what it needs not to happen yung maano sila, na-outskill sila dun sa skill. I think they need to burn it. They need talaga to burn dito yung mga skills ng BREN and counter right after it.
Parang kailangan ng Omega mag-spend ng skills para mabait yung mga ulti ng BREN.
Totoo.
Dahil kung hindi sila makakapasok talaga eh.
And
Ang
isa
hirap
rin
eh.
sa nagpapahirap ngayon kasi 'di ba we've said that the Selena is perfect lalo na nung nakita natin yon what used by Few. Pero the difference from this game is that may mga hero dito from BREN na pwedeng sumalo. Even si Rebo, pwede niyang kunin yung mismong pana.
Oo.
Kumbaga, walang easy burst dito ang Omega.
No easy basket. Toshi papasok naman ngayon! Tinamaan pa siya ng missile expert ni Rebo. Rob Luna, sinabi ko kanina ba mukhang long games itong game 3?
Mukhang hindi
Pero
na.
mukhang hindi. Ito yung nangyayaring trend
Kailangan
no?
nilang iban tong Barats na to. Either of the two teams.
So dalawa na nakikita nating trend.
Yes.
Selena or Barats ang kailangan iban. BREN Esports, papasok na ngayon sa bandang gitna. Stretching para kay Lusty. Go Onic. Sabi dito ng BREN. And basag na ang tower. Lusty with Flap Easy pala with the Desert Tornado. Tempest of Blades out na naman dito si Carl TZ. And GZ and company mukhang didisiplinahin na lang ang sarili nila para makapagdepensa. Pero look at the score right now, Rob.
That is 1 into 11 in 10 minutes. A 10,000 lead, mga kaibigan dito for BREN Esports. Carl TC was about to die doon, pero wala nang follow-up damage. Just right after the Tempest of Blade, nakatakas pa siya. And this is not really doing well for the side of Omega. They need to make something happen dito. The Lord is about to respond now in the next 2 seconds. Paano?
Parang hindi mo rin pwedeng pikan ng Selena itong Omega pagkalaban mo yung BREN. Kasi alam talaga nila kung paano, ano yung sagot. At mukhang ito yung sagot. Napasok yung Cartesi dito. Ito na ata ang huling laban na kailangan ng BREN Esports. Pero ayaw ng Omega to. Dahil si Toshi, ang unang mawala. Vengeance Plane. Meron pang 2 proc para dito kay Few. Pero mukhang hindi na nila itutuloy. Iyan. 11 minutes na. 12-1. Ano ngayon ang comeback potential ng Omega? Napakaliit ng porsyento na pwede silang makakambak sa game number 3.
Yun ang tanong. Paano nga kaya? I mean, this is very awkward, lalo na dito sa Omega.
Patay ang germs para kay Lusty dito, pero okay lang yan. Kasi lamang naman sila.
Yes, I think they need to work around probably dito sa mga hero ni Hit. Sobrang effective or parang mas proactive sila when they have hit on certain heroes katulad nung Hilda niya kanina. Yung talagang sumusugod. That's one of the reasons siguro na binabanan din sila talaga ng Johan. They don't want to see hit on those kinds of heroes.
Oo nga
Pero,
parang,
kasi ito medyo somehow reactive kasi ngayon dito ang Basha
Oo no? Parang kailangan nila ilagay si Hit dun sa mga pang-enable na heroes.
Like, yung medyo pasugod.
Oo,
yes, pwedeng sumugod dito yung Basha. Pero right after the ulti, right after he actually, yung pagtapos ng paggulong niya doon, that's it. wala nang follow-up.
Oo, tapos...
Kumbaga, ang setup kasi ng Omega ngayon is like sustaining yung damage na ibabato ng BREN. Pero it's more than enough that it's more than they can chew right now.
Okay. Pero hold your horses. Na-shutdown si Flap TZ dito, Rob.
Medyo malalim na rin. Kasi
Malalim
talaga,
si Flap, ha?
pero I think still, BREN Esports are very confident dito to try to take the Lord.
Pero apat sila dito. May call yung Omega na mag-take ng fight. At GG Revitalize, lumabas yung Lito Wonder, naglalakad lang. Ang unang tinarget nila dito ay si Lasty. Ayun na, I'm offended. Hinila si Lasty dito. Mamatay ba si Lasty? Tyrant's range. Tatamaan ngayon. Si Toshi, kinagat. Rap si Doodle-Doo. Sabi ngayon ni Ribo, huwag mo nga atake na kaibigan ko na si Lasty. Habang si Carteezy, ang dami ng Z dahil inaatake pa siya ni Carteezy. Easy peasy na ba? Mawawala na ba siya? Yung Dragon, tumama ngayon. Op! Boom! Monster kill
Ang
for
galing.
Carl TZ. Double kill mo na rin.
Ni-recognize ni Carl TC na pwede siyang i-burst doon ni Haji. Nilayuan niya talaga at hinarangan siya doon. I think that was Ribo na nang hold on kay Haji. That's the reason na hindi niya malaikan pounce doon sa bandang huli yung Ling at doon halos na ubos.
Ubos talaga dahil 2-1 will be the score. Game number 3 will go to BREN Esports.
Oh, wow. This is a back and forth
Wow.
in both teams.
Wow.
And you can clearly see, we usually see BREN Esports right after game, parang nagkakasiya na, pero sobrang seryoso nila
Yeah.
sa laro na to. They know, they respect their opponent na anytime pwedeng kumamba.
Oo. Iba. Parang ang gusto ko sa BREN kasi they know yung strength ng opponents nila eh. Alam mo nung game 2 parang ito yung kailangan natin i-adjust.
Mhm.
Sige.
Siguro nga, yun eh, no? They're willing to give the Selena. Yes, you can get the Selena, but we will get the Barats. That was one key factor then on the previous 2 games na naging factor din siya on the 3rd game. And I guess, Omega really needs to think this one. Well, probably...
I have a feeling, Rob, na magi-game 5 tayo eh. I mean, game 5 na 2-2 eh.
Game 4 gonna be 2-2, then game 5.
Parang
Tingin ko
eh.
To eh, balikan to eh.
Parang
Pagka
siso eh.
sumuntok kasi, di ba, yung isa, kailangan may bawi eh, di ba?
Oo eh, parang, naku, hindi ko na alam. Gusto ko na lang mag-react at malaman kung sino-sino ba ang mga possible heroes na pwedeng ibato dito ng mga players natin. By the way, shoutout muna kay Anthony Son ng Realme, Jerry Ocampo and Alvin Beltran, and kay Shinbu. Ibalik na natin ngayon kay Wolf. Ikaw naman.
Thank you so much, casters. Na-mention nila na baka magkapalitan ng wins dito. I feel that might really be the case. Because this game, so far, yung draft to battle na nangyayari ay nagkakaroon lang ng palitan. Yung hero na nagpapanalo sa game number 1 ay kinontra ng game number 2. Tapos kinontra naman ng game number 3, yung nagpapanalo ng game 2. So palitan lang talaga. Unfortunately, mukhang Barats wins game so far. Tingnan natin at breakdown ang game number 3. My name is Wolf, your analyst. Let's talk about this draft. At isa lang talaga ang gusto kong tingnan ninyo. This Barats from Rebo 2-0-11. Pati yung itemization niya was perfect. Ang yaman actually niya dito. The Akiras worked wonders against Omega. Do take note din, mga kaibigan, na itong hero na to ay pinik kasabay ng isang Ling. Omega, ang kanilang reaction is to pick up the deny pick. Ang term is deny pick para sa Selena. Yung tipong ipipick nila para hindi mapili ng kalaban. And if first pick nila yan, sabi ng BREN, okay, yung red side meron siyang first 2 picks or 2 picks at kinuha nila Ling and Barats. Dahil yung Barats, napansin nila na it counters the Ling. At the same time, ang dami rin niyang pwedeng i-counter pang iba. I think nahirapan dito yung Roger because of this particular hero din. And we can see at BREN Esports capitalized on this Barats at every time na kaya nilang gamitin on Rebo, they will utilize it. Let's look at actually yung mga ambag ng bawat team sa atin when it comes to the damage output. Hayes was also good with this Selena but there's only so much he can do. Kung mapapansin ninyo, nahirapan si Carteezy in this specific game dahil malakas ang zone out potential ng BREN. In fact, yung poke mechanic ng BREN dito ay napakataas din. You have Kufra na pwede makipag-trade ng hits sa early game. Kung napapansin nyo si Lasty, dahil meron siya nung passive na meron siyang knife. Still, obviously, with Fuse Valier, na isa sa mga pinakamalakas mang poke na hero out there, and obviously with the Barats, Now, Cartesi dealt so much damage, but look at the other members as well of BREN. Rebo with 37k damage and a lot of damage na kinuha din. If looking at the opposite side, Heath not so impactful with the backshot, not so much as the Lusty, and Cartesi on the Thams is also not. Had GZ, unfortunately, nalugi talaga siya dito sa game na to because of just the nature of the heroes that they have. Why don't we look at the highlights of this match and tingnan natin kung paano nga naman ito na ipanalo ng Omega paunti-unti. Sorry, ng BREN Esports. Dahil ang Omega, I think this was the most crucial fight kasi yung fact na yung Omega nakipaglaban dun sa idea na kaya nilang i-burst down si Rebo, they were all inning against these Barats. And unfortunately, ang mga all-in type of team fight katulad nito, yung tipong papasok lahat, Thams, Roger, Ruby, sabay-sabay, tapos sa try nila mang-burst, hindi nag-work yan laban sa Barats na we know na sobrang sustainable at nakatakas pa. Sobrang counterintuitive and BREN Esports punished them for it. Kaya naman yung Omega, ito na yung dito na nagsimula yung kanilang pagkahirap sa game. It was incredibly hard after this point dahil makakakuha na ng back-to-back objectives ang BREN Esports. And Cartesi all of a sudden is feeling more confident around the map. Ang lakas ng dive potential, and you can see Rebo, hindi man lang nagdadalawang isip. At dahil meron nga naman silang mataas sa damage output ngayon. And few actually hindi rin na-contest dito sa ating laban. Nakikita nyo, yinu-utilize din ng BREN Esports yung fact na pwedeng may manggulo tapos nagtitake ng buffs at nagpapunish sa Cartesi. We can see that the clashes will eventually just favor BREN Esports just by the nature of hero. Cartesi, wonderful positioning dun sa may likod. Hinabol nila si Lusty. At masyadong matagal yung pagtingin na kay Lusty. Kaya kahit nakakuha silang kill doon, naubusan sa likod ang side ng Omega. And alam naman natin, kapag flank type ang inyong composition, madali din kayo ma-force out of the fights pag nag-all-in kayo sa isang tank. Unfortunately, for Omega, pinili nila na habulin si Lusty, kaya naman din sila nadali sa laban na yun. The last play with Rebo and on the Barats, sobrang cool lang din yung ginawa niya play dahil ginamit niya yung Daytona's Welcome on Hadjizi habang nagpupush ang side ng BREN Esports. Well, again, bonus na lang yun. That's just icing on the cake. But that allowed BREN Esports to take the game, to take down the base ng sobrang dali. And this guy, 2-0-11 ang kanyang performance, napakayaman on this Barats. I think that this might be worthy of a ban para sa side ng Omega. Now, BREN Esports, obviously, if you want to support this team, napakadali lang mo sa hashtag BREN ng malakas. Scan nyo na rin itong QR code na ito. Omega, they look like a team na kayang-kayang counterin at kayang basahin ang lineup ng BREN Esports at hindi pwedeng, at hindi malayo na mangyari na magpalitan lang ng games. If you want to support them, scan this QR code as well. We would like to hear from you guys at kung gusto nyong makarinig naman ng tamang-tamang mga updates tungkol sa MPL Philippines, just visit fb.com/mplph.official or scan this QR code. At kung meron din naman kayong mga feedback, just fill up the survey form using this QR code. Tapos, pwede pa kayo manalo ng mga malulupit na rewards. Hindi lang yan, pati ito. 2 survey forms that you can fill out and you can win rewards. Speaking of rewards, we have a lot of giveaway codes for you guys. And so far, dahil nasa Game 3 na tayo ng ating Best of 7 series, feeling ko mas mag-wish nyo pang mas marami pang games dahil every single game during this analysis portion, we will be giving away 3 codes each time. And I'm sure na kayo ay gusto-gusto nyo itong codes na ito, but at the same time, you want to see more from both of these teams. I personally want to see more from both of these teams. I want to see Omega challenge BREN Esports more. Alam natin na Omega ang pinakaunang team na nagpadugo dito sa BREN Esports in the playoffs, pati na rin sa group stages, the only team to have defeated BREN Esports in the regular season of MPL-PH Season 6, and hopefully they can repeat it. Or, tignan natin kung ang BREN Esports ay magpapatuloy-tuloy na lang. Bibigyan na naman ng ilang trophy. Ng pangalawang trophy, ang ilan sa mga members dito, like potential 2-time winners, like Lusty, Few, Rebo, di natin alam. But for now, that has been my analysis of game number 3. My name is Wolf, and I'm gonna be turning it back to the casters.
Maraming salamat, Wolf. And yes, both of these guys, merong mga 2-time champions.
Yes.
Sa Omega, nandiyan si Hayes. Meanwhile, para naman dito sa BREN Esports, Few, Rebo, Lusty, and I think EJ.
No,
Hindi
I think
ata umabot si EJ.
Sa Eitherman.
Si
That was
666 yun eh.
666.
Oo, si 666. Pero yeah. Wow. Okay, Rob, tell me more about this Barat's pick na ine-emphasize natin ngayon.
Oo eh.
Ito na ba yung talagang key to victory for both of the teams, hindi Selena?
Oo, I guess the Selena can still be a factor. Pero yung nangyari kasi kanina, the Barats could be a thing, pero it all thanks to the Valier of you. Kasi yung
May space.
early
Oo.
presence dito, kumbaga, pag binigyan mo kasi dito, gaya nga nang sabi, nung pag-pick kasi, no-brainer yung pick ng nung BREN nung third pick nila eh. Nung kinuha, nung nakita ang open yung Kufra, kinuha kagad yung Kufra. Oo.
Pindot, oo.
Tapos, the only ones na nag-lock noon and that perfect fit doon was the Valier. Kasi alam natin, si Lusty kasi you would want him to put into an awkward position na mga tank eh. Yung tank na reactive.
Oo.
Like the Tigreal.
Oo.
Katulad nung nanalo doon yung Omega. Kumbaga, Tigreal kasi hindi siya yung parang the certain initiator eh. More on, pwede siya mag-initiate using the implosion, pero yung early game mechanic niya hindi ganun kaganda.
Kaganda, yeah. Rob, ito yung interesting eh. Last pick yung Valier dito kanina.
Mhm.
So, hindi ba yun na-count ng side ng Omega na baka ito yung magpa-activate? Kasi mas pinili ng Omega iban yung Kadita.
There
Kanina
is.
eh.
Well, it actually works both ways eh.
Parang
Gaya
pwede rin kung Kadita eh.
Oo.
No? Basta as long na may susuporta sa Valier, sa Kufra,
Mhm.
goods na goods.
Totoo yun. Well, yung Selena kasi, syempre hindi mo naman masasabi that your Selena won't work up until the game eh, di ba?
Oo.
Kumbaga, gaya nga nasabi natin before the third game started, if Haste gets good arrows, they could take that from there. Pero it didn't happen. Tapos mas naging mahirap pa siya sa late game. Kasi nga, the Barats, just right after the laning phase, or rather papunta ng mid game, hindi na masyadong nagle-lane. Talagang sumasama na siya into the rotations. Diba? So, yun yung isa sa mga nagpahirap. Kumbaga, yung mga pana, and one thing din, lalo na nung nasa final team fight ng Game 3, was hinabol nila si Lusty doon sa likod. Your Haji's damage was being placed doon sa tank. Kasi siya si Lusty yung nasa awkward position eh. Tapos, habang yung mga ibang members ng Omega were dealing with Carl TC doon sa malapit sa may Lord, Haji C medyo nalayo.
Hindi siya makapag-posisyon.
Oo.
Hindi siya makapag-posisyon. And yung sinabi mo about dito sa Barats, na I think napag-usapan din natin kanina, na after the laning stage, after the 3 minutes 40-second mark, kung sasama na siya sa mga kasama niya, kung sasama na siya sa team, parang nagkakaroon ng dual tank setup.
Oo.
Na parang kang nagkaroon ng panibagong support na lumili. Parang may bonus ka kagad na role sa hero mo. And I think ganun ka-dangerous ang Barats ngayon eh.
Sa din eh, ang hirap din kasi mag-peel off sa isang Barats, di ba? I mean, whenever na 25 stacks yung so-called teamwork niya, parang sobra na, definitely, kumukunat siya, lumalaki doon yung Barats. Then suddenly, ang maganda pa doon, they do have this certain initiation na time and time na ginawa ni Rebo was the Detona's welcome.
Yeah.
Oo. So now, Omega here is in an awkward position. If that, they would still, kumbaga, kaya sabi natin eh, the Barats are winning the games, both 3 matches. May mga factors nga lang, the Valier dito, ni Few, then yung Selena nung first game. Pero, what is clear dito sa nangyayari in between the two teams is that whoever has the more tankier lineup, mas nagiging mas na-emphasize yung mga cores nila. Mas nagiging madali para sa kanilang mga
Kasi
core.
parang kung tanky kayo sa umpisa at level 1, level 2, mas madaling mag-invade.
Yes.
Mas madaling pumasok kayo sa invasion. 'Di ba?
Mhm.
At nakikita natin ngayon muli ang BREN ESPORTS. Mag-hi ka nga sa kanila, Rob. Hi!
Sana real time.
Oo, pero hindi yan real time.
Dahil hindi yan real time. So,
Oo.
hindi sila mag-hi sa atin.
Oo, uulitin namin guys para po sa mga bagong manonood ng MPL at bagong kakadating lang talaga sa esports ng MPL. Mataas ang delay ng
Totoo.
stream na pinapanood ngayon ng BREN ESPORTS. At syempre, walang kinalaman yan. Kaya kung ikaw ay mag-screenshot at itatype mo na nagkakaroon ng dayaan, magtipid ka na lang ng brain cells.
Definitely.
At magtipid ka na lang ng blood cells.
Or mas maganda, scan mo na lang yung QR code na nilalabas
nalabas
natin
dyan.
for if
Oo.
you are supporting either
Oo.
of the two teams.
Totoo. Suporta, pero ano yun, Rob? Ano
I was
napansin mo dun?
thinking kasi nasabi ko, kamusta ba ngayon ang state ng
Omega?
Omega? Kasi they were down by 1 eh, di ba? Kumbaga doon sa kabila, medyo mas relax sila because they're ahead by 1. Pero syempre ito, kumbaga, you wouldn't want to be in a position na 1 game away yung kalaban nyo eh.
Oo gusto
Oo.
mo kahit paano maitabla mo yan.
Totoo. Well, nagawa kanina yon ng execration over Onyx.
Oo.
Pero like what I've said, you wouldn't want to be in that position.
Yeah. Ang hirap pa pag nasa ganung position ka na kasi ang daming pumapasok sa utak mo eh. Kapag
Yes.
huling game na lang ninyo, ganon. 'Di ba? Parang iisipin mo pa bawal ako magkamali.
Mhm.
Mas lalo ka magpe-play safe. And mukhang kung titignan mo yung muka ngayon ng BREN ESPORTS, parang ano na eh. Gutom, tinan mo yung mukha ni Ribo, oh, parang gusto ko na kunin to eh. Kukunin ko na to eh. Amin na to eh. Ganon na eh.
Tingin ko ready na. Ready na si Doc Ribs. Oo.
Handa na siya eh.
Mukhang
no?
ready na rin yun. Nagkalistahan na. Pero I think we should still think that Omega. Siguro magandang i-emphasize nga natin dito yung mga tanks.
Yeah.
The support, or yes, they were working pero still the tank is ramdam mo din.
Oo.
Kasi actually, nung nagkaka-break tayo, Prof. B actually did mention it eh, di ba? Yun nga, like nung sinabi ko, yung sa tank.
Oo.
Yung pagka si Lusty, nalagay mo siya doon sa mga reactive tank, medyo nagiging awkward yung rotation na ginagawa ng BREN
Oo, eh.
Esports. Meanwhile naman, dito naman, ganun
Sa
din
Omega,
sa
sa Omega naman.
naging their 2 losses was 2 bashes. Diba?
So,
So there's a part...
Are you telling me na kailangan na talaga nilang i-activate na alisin na muna nila yung backsha,
Mhm.
subok sila ng ibang formula like Hilda, like ano pa ba, Jawhead,
Pero yun
kaso
yung tinatanggal.
nakaban.
So, mapapansin mo ngayon dito ngayon for BREN Esports, it's clearly that they are
Alam
targeting
nila.
Hits hero.
Alam
Kumbaga,
nila, oo.
nilalagay nila si Hit into a position na parang set type of heroes or rather yung katulad nga nung Basha. Kasi pwede nilang parang hayaan lang eh.
Oo,
Kasi
kumbaga-
pagka ganitong hero ni Hit, siya yung nagsiset ng tempo,
Oo.
nagiging aggressive siya.
Kumbaga naaral ng BREN na si Mr. Fundamental, kapag itong mga tempo heroes yung nakukuha niya, mas maganda yung win rate
Yes.
nila. Kesa doon sa mga backsha type
Mhm.
na mga heroes na medyo stay in, stay out lang, ganun.
Totoo yan. So now, what's gonna be it for Omega?
Let's see.
Well, I think they did first pick Ling kanina, but it's gonna be the Barats.
Na naman! Na-open na naman! Hindi ba inakala ng Omega na pwedeng i-first pick to ng BREN Esports?
I think-
Binigay ba nila to para kunin to as first 2 picks?
Probably. I think they were banking na na BREN Esports would do the same thing na i-prioritize kagad ang isang hero ni Carl. Kasi nga,
Nandin. Oo.
parang nasa permanent ban ng Omega yung Lancelot eh. So there's parang, sabihin na natin Carl are doing well with a lot of heroes pero mas kita mo pag ang hero ni Carl is Lance and Ling. So they thought na baka ulitin yun ng BREN pero hindi. Barats. Kita
Barats
naman natin
ulit.
dito. All 3 games, Barats are really working. Nakuha pa rin naman nila dito yung Ling.
Oh
And Kufra.
my God, this is
Now,
the same lineup, Rob Luna.
totoo. Now, Omega would want to ban Fuse heroes dito on their next 2 picks.
I think they need to pick a support right now and then ban 2 Fuse heroes.
Totoo yan.
Parang,
Ang iniisip ko nga will
Counter
they
pick,
want
oo.
to do the same thing na ginawa nila? Or actually, that was Omega, right? Yung
Yeah.
dalawa. Yung Selena and yung kanilang Farsa.
oo.
Oo.
I think ang pwede nilang kunin dito ngayon ay Farsa. And then mag-ban sila ng mga few heroes, Kadita or Valir.
Ang problema kasi pag ganun ang ginawa nila, mawawala ng hero si Haji. Pero Yuzhong makes sense. That's a courtesy hero. Pero this isn't a clear answer. Pero medyo di naman sketchy. Yuzhong will definitely fit into this lineup.
Oo.
Pero ang mahirap kasi
Tingin ko Valir ulit.
pagka nawalan sila dito ng I was thinking kung ano ba ang pwede maging tank dito ni Hit that would definitely work for the side of Omega.
Walang Kufra.
Wala nang Kufra, wala na yung dalawang Hilda and as well with Jawhead.
Yung
Ay,
Atlas ay hindi ako sigurado sa
Oo,
ngayon.
we've seen it on
Oo.
execution kanina that it
Nalalugi
didn't
yung
work.
Exe. Oo.
So if they're gonna go once again for the Basha, baka maulit lang din yung nangyari during game number 3.
Oo. Pero this time, mas pabor ako sa side lanes ng Omega
Mhm.
na mataas ang capability mag-stay talaga.
Yes, they could stay.
Your team
But-
is banning.
Hindi rin sila yung parang ano eh.
Hindi rin yung Action Jackson eh.
Oo, like yung
Hindi yan
pwedeng
yung Action
mag-pick off
Jackson
eh.
eh. Oo,
Kumbaga,
eh.
stay sila, literal. Oo. Pero, it's all about din kasi sa Selena ulit ng Omega.
Kailangan.
Yung Omega, rather yung Selena kasi talaga yung kailangan makapag-set ng tempo.
Correct.
Oo. It's not only hitting your arrows. You could be able to bring something na pwede kang maglagay yung traps mo pa lang para maging confident yung mga side lanes mo na hindi sila basta-basta magagank. That was one thing eh.
Oo.
Pero what's gonna be the tank for hit na pa-partner dito sa Selena ni Hayes? Basha didn't work well for them.
Ano
What's
pa bang
gonna be
iba? Wala akong maisip, Rob Luna eh. Jawhead, Hilda.
Unless
Kung hindi na pwede
ayaw
yung
nilang na
Baksha.
mag-tank.
Oo.
Like, kumuha sila ng...
Khalid.
well,
wala
Khalid is
rin
out.
Khalid na ba?
No.
Oo
It's
nga.
Natalia.
Natalia, hit.
Oo,
Natalia hit.
Oo, ilan lang yung mga teams na gumagawa nun. BREN, ESPORTS is one. The
Oo.
Selena and the Natalia.
Oh, here you
But
go.
still, it's gonna be the Basha.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Ipoprove ba sa atin ni Heat na nagkakamali tayo dito, Rob Luna?
It will. It might.
Pwede.
Oo.
Gusto natin yon.
Pero ito it's gonna be one hard again. Ang daming open dito for the support. Will they get the Kadita? Ito na yon. So parang namili na lang yung Omega kung ano yung pwede maging hero ng
Kung apoy
Bren.
o tubig.
Oo, kung apoy o tubig. Hindi
Oh,
sila
no.
nanalo sa apoy kanina. Then gamitin nga. Yun doon naman tayo sa tubig.
Is this a side lane Kadita for Flaptizi?
Yes. It's gonna be a side lane.
So
Definitely.
hindi kay Pew.
This gonna be a side lane Lunox.
Okay. Side lane Lunox,
Side lane
Flaptizi.
Lunox and yung si
Kadita
Few.
support.
Oh.
Pew Kadita support. Parang mas Lunox side lane ang nakikita ko. Rob, ikaw ba?
Oh,
Sa
yeah,
tingin mo?
Lunox side lane definitely. Yun nga lang tinitignan ko, hindi pa sila kasi nagpapalit. Pero Lunox makes sense more on the side lane, but baka may iba dito na ipakita sa atin ang BREN Esports. Now, Omega here, still thinking on what gonna be the hero for Haji.
Haji?
Roger is still
YSS?
available. YSS as well, but
Okay.
it's gonna be the YSS. Alright.
Best option.
This is a more aggressive approach compared to the Roger. Hindi siya ganun kasing tanky, pero still, yun nga, tama ka doon. That's gonna be a side lane. Rebo has been using it on the side lane. Dati pa naman.
Lunox, Rebo, Pew Kadita. So tubig na lang ang pinili nga dito ng Omega. Another exciting and unorthodox lineup na nakita natin sa MPL.
Mhm.
Lunox, Kadita, two-mage setup. Sabi ng BREN, akala nyo naman talaga, Omega, kayo lang ang nagto-two-mage setup.
I like it. I like this one. Pero still, if the Barats prove to us na panalo pa rin sila dito, I guess the Barats is the game changer dito on this series.
Meron akong nafe-feel na yung Lunox, yung naging adjustment ng BREN kasi nakita nila yung Baksha at yung Yuzo.
Yes, probably. Pero
At-
I guess the Lunox would go against the Esmeralda. Kasi,
Esme din no?
oo, kasi kung kahit sabag-sabay mag-level 4 yan, Lunox would definitely outscale sa
Yeah,
early game ang isang Esmeralda.
Yeah, tama ka, Rob Luna. And of course, yung kakasabi mo lang, yung Barats na naman. Is it all about the Barats? Para dito, sa BREN Esports, effective yung hero na yan sa last 2 games na nakita natin. Ngayon, parehas na naman ba ang storya?
Yon ang malaking tanong. It's all about Haste making the plays para dito sa Omega. If they cannot be able to get something on the early game, BREN Esports dito, they have a more confident lineup. Yung kunat nila dito, definitely going into mid-game, medyo mahirap for the side of Omega.
At tignan mo yung abilities ni Toshi dito on getting that early level 2 against Flaptizi. Will immediately spot out and will hide dito sa bush na nasa taas.
Ang ganda,
Kukuha
no?
kaya siya dito, Rob?
Ito yung yung the Omega specialty eh.
Oo nga
yung bigay silver platter ng mga buffs dito kay Haji eh.
Oo nga eh. Nakakuha si Haji dito ng ng buffs. Pero actually sumubok si Toshi mag-try mag-steal ng buff dito. para kay na Carl TZ. Now, looking at the preparations, Kadita Petrified. Ilang beses na natin ito nakita. Gaano ba kalakas to, Rob Luna? Easy setup.
It's gonna be an easy setup. Right after the oddity, mas lalo mo mako-connect yung Breath of the Ocean mo.
Oo. Basic lang. At ngayon, lastly, Polado. Here comes Omega coming in with the first blood. Pero may onting pagbawi. Si Carl TZ doon kay Yuzong.
But they need this. They need this one. Ganito kailangan talaga ang gawin ng Omega dito. Kailangan sila ang mag-set ng tempo for the side of BREN Esports or else mas mahihirapan sila going into the mid game. Ang ganda na naman ng pana.
Ay, nako. Sabi mo kasi kanina, Rob, kailangan ni Hayes gumalaw eh.
Oo.
Sabi ni Hayes, eto na, Boss Rob ha. Pero syempre gumalaw din dito si Carl TZ.
Wow.
The expert, missile expert won't connect. Flicker in. Plus the so-called teamwork. Procking. And getting Hayes. Flap TZ now falling low. Sabay sticker pa nga.
Oh. Well, I was surprised na nabuhay pa nga doon si Hayes going too deep onto the jungle dito ng BREN Esports. But look at Losty dito. Ito yung difference in between the two tanks. But the arrow will connect once again.
Napakagandang pana para kay Hayes dito. And unti-unti, no?
This is quite a different Selena that we've been seeing compared to what we've seen on game number 1.
I think it's much better kasi at least you have a Yishun Shin na from afar, pwede mag-flood-floods.
At pwede
Tapos
rin Mountain Shocker to provide damage.
Oo.
So I guess mas nagiging dominant dito yung galaw ng Omega on the early game. They could potentially take this first turtle dito against BREN Esports.
Pwedeng-pwede yan. As Omega is just giving space to Toshi and kay GZ. Turtle is the next target of the game. Magkakaroon ba tayo ng big team fight dyan, Rob Luna?
Posible. That turtle might actually set something in on both teams. Ngayon nakikita na natin the Barats is actually leaving its lane and doing what it intended to be. Yung sumabay sa team fight.
Na, no? Oo. Ito yung maganda sa kanya, tapos si Ribo na yung magpa-farm.
That's
Magiging pseudo-core.
Yung ganun yung switch, ang ganda no?
Yeah, interesting. At walang nangyaring laban sa Turtle, pero joke lang, ito na pala yun, dinilaan at kinagat. Nilagay sa pader, pero tignan natin kung may mangyaring laban dito dahil Black Dragon form, atakin niya yun si Flap TZ, habang si Pew ay pulado na ngayon. Binasa lahat ng mga damo. Sabi dito ni Pew at si Flap TZ, hinuli na rin ang traps dito. Carl TZ naman lumilipad-lipad lang sa bandang gilid habang si GZ ay nagpa-farm sa bandang gitna. Isa lang ang nawala, si Ribo lang.
Si Ribo lang, but I guess BREN would take it. Still, I was actually looking forward kung paano yung magiging pasok doon sa may backlanes doon ng BREN Esports as they were very deep in their position. Pero ang maganda dito for Omega, to be honest, is that nakakapag-farm si Haji.
Si Haji, the KDA machine, ay nandito na at nakikita natin. At hindi maganda rin yung setup ni Pew that time.
Totoo.
On the rough waves. To the point na buo na ni Toshi yung kanyang enchanted talisman. What is now happening to BREN Esports? No?
Napilitan din kasi mag-rough waves doon si Pew kasi binantayan na siya kagad ni Toshi.
Yep.
So, again, look like Omega be the one to setting the tempo. Mukhang hindi nga yata malabo yung hinahanap mo na bandi ka.
Parang tuto eh.
Mukhang tuto nga talaga.
Kasi hindi talaga ba, knowing Omega, pag laging may download yan pag talo ng unang game eh.
Exactly.
Ito yung same formula nila kanina.
Pero hindi pa natin nakikita dito yung full team fight potential ng BREN Esports. But Ribo, on the other hand,
Ayan na nga.
dying twice here on the Lunox.
At sinasabi na dito ni Kuya Hit na Kuya Rob Luna, Kuya Manjit, minamaliit nyo naman yung backshock ko eh.
Hindi rin
Hindi naman eh.
Oo.
Eh.
Saka hindi rin masyadong na-maximize dito yung I guess, the Lunox. Kasi parang it's very rare that we've seen him parang napakadalang, parang nakastay lang talaga siya doon sa baba, just using the Starlight Pulse, nakikipagsabayan siya doon sa Yuzhong. And still, Yuzhong is getting items, and as well with Toshi on the top lane. Parehas, halos mga walang kill. This is a very low team kill game. This is just 2 and 4. Pero yung rotation nila dito sa mapa, Omega,
lamang eh.
Oo.
Sila ang nagdidikta ng tempo and nag-step up talaga si Hayes dito on the arrows. Tinamaan ngayon si Pew. Sabi ni Hayes, ako din. Hindi lang ikaw ang pang-championship na si Leyna.
Yes.
Wala lang yung hero na yan nung nag-champion ako. Sabi ni Hayes.
Ano din no? Talagang ramdam mo whenever Selena is getting good games, talagang kumbaga nararamdaman ng buong team nyo
Yeah.
Kasi not only that, YSS dito for Haji, yes, he's not getting any kills, pero yung continuous mountain shocker niya is giving. Yan, katulad niyan, wala naman sila mapapatay, just use it every after nung kanyang pagka-cooldown just to see, just to have the vision on the map.
At hindi nakakagalaw ang BREN doon. Kasi kitang-kita sila lagi. At ngayon yung Barats, nahihirapan na din, hindi siya ganun kakunat.
Oo, this is not the usual Barat that we've seen on the previous 3 games.
Oo. So ngayon, nasa kamay ba ni Carl TZ ang bola? Kung ikaw ang BREN, wala pa siyang kills. At kumukuha siya dito ngayon ng mga side lane pushes.
That, if and only if, he could be able to get into Haji on the backlanes. Probably, after the traceless, pwede niya mapasok sa may bandang likod. Pero it's still gonna be tricky for the side dito ng BREN Esports. Now, they are like, this is already almost 4,000 lead for Omega.
Hindi ganun kadali, Rob Luna, no? Tignan natin. Rebo, iniikutan siya ni Heat ngayon. Mountain Shocker coming in. Makakalasit si Carl TZ dito ng purple. May stun nagmumula kay Toshi on the ultimate. Pero nagtiyanian lang yung dalawang teams natin as Omega will back off. Ito talaga yung maganda sa Omega yung fundamental place
Saka
Di basta-basta susugod
Both of the teams are not really willing to commit into something na hindi sila ganun kasigurado. Look at that. I mean, in terms of once na may mapatay na isa, they know just they have to back off. Alam nila kasi dito both yung winning conditions nila, even Losty, not just trying to do Tyrant's Rage na sobrang malalim. Toshi might actually die here.
May Detonas welcome pa ba dito? Si Flap TZ. At ayun na nga, Toshi, goodbye. Pero nandito sina Heat and Hayes.
That's a good pick-up for BREN.
Oo,
pero may bawi.
Na late.
Oo. Meanwhile, they were chasing Toshi, kinukuha na ng Omega yung turtle that time. Oo.
Let's see, cause BREN Esports being patient. Right now, alam nila na Omega ang lamang sa tempo. So sabi nila, teka kalma, pwede naman tayong pumitas at pwede naman tayong mag-farm. Hindi naman tayo nagmamadali.
Yes.
Yon ang sinasabi ngayon ng BREN.
Actually, both of the teams are capable on scaling onto the late game. The only difference on Omega that they have this Yuzhong. Oo, which is wherein na pwedeng i-absorb yung mga damage. Pwede niyang mamain or tag-win dito yung dalawang mages coming from BREN Esports.
Pwede siyang mag-dragon-dragon na lang kung saan-saan tapos mag-sustain talaga ng todo. Omega, wala na silang actually mahuli as of now. Parang 3 minuto na ata silang naglalakbay.
Oo,
ng mga
nag-iikutan sa mapa.
mahuli. Oo.
It's actually it boils down to the First Lord. Who is gonna be taking the First Lord? Kumbaga, tingin ko mapupunta tayo dun sa scenario na may fake Lord Tapos biglang pagka may nag-contest, didiretso sila doon. Pero hindi na yata mangyayari yun ngayon.
Mukhang eto na yung contest. Actually, hindi yung Lord gustong i-contest. Ang gusto ay yung purple buff. Tatama ang trap dito kay Flap TZ. Dragon Tail tatama na din. Eto na yung sledging bumula kay Lasty. Habang si Pew ay Ocean's Oddity out. Ma-re-reset ang purple dito. Habang pulado si Pew, nagkakasya ng dalawang team sa Arrow will be dodged out. Naku po, ang ganda ng setup mula sa side ng BREN Esports. Yun na pala ang kailangan. Eto na nga, 5 sa side ng BREN Esports ang buhay pa. Habang si Heat, nasa na yung counter go. Kinagat na naman ni Flap TZ. Killing spree. Habang yung stretching ni Lasty ay hindi na magaganap.
Wow.
BREN Esports with a surprise victory, tanggal ang 4.
Tanggal. It's a good opportunity for them to be able to strike back. Nakita na nila na pinang-engage doon yung Black Dragon. Now, Losty finding a good way paano makapasok dito on the side ng Omega, going doon sa may mid lane. Wow. It just went perfectly. Tapos, even Toshi was targeting doon sa may top lane. Look at the Gillette instant replay dito kung paano dinikit sa pader doon. And nagkadikit-dikit. The layering of the skill, the Tempest of Blade, killing everyone. Look at Flap TC just tanking here. The damage na binabato dito ng Omega hanggang sa isa-isang nawala ang mga miyembro dito ng Omega.
Grabe yung setup doon. Dalawa yung tinamaan, Rob Luna.
Totoo yan. And BREN knows that, yun nga, doon nagsimula eh. Naunang gumamit ng ulti yung Omega. After the Black Dragon, wala nang kasunod.
Wala nang kasunod.
Oo. So,
Hashtag shave the day talaga.
oo.
Nagmula dito sa BREN at dahil doon, bumaliktad ka agad yung table.
Bumalik. Well, still on the gold, I think Omega. Pantay pa rin naman dito yung dalawang team pero mas naging confident ngayon ang BREN in terms of the map control. They are getting all the inner turrets dito ngayon ng Omega. They are perfectly positioning themselves dito sa may Lord Pit.
Ay, nakyo, you don't want to give BREN any loopholes. Lalo na't kapag lamang na lamang kayo kasi kayang-kaya nilang baliktarin yung laban kapag nagkamali kayo ng isang beses. At ngayon, halos yung map control ay nasa kanila, Rob Luna.
Totoo.
Yung mga pana, I think, ngayon ni Haze, ay hindi na magiging effective kasi etong si Flap TZ, humaharap na lang.
Oo, kaya niya nang kunin. I mean, pwede niya nang kunin eh. Para akin na yung Abyssal Arrow mo para wag lang tamaan dito yung mga mages ko, yung si Carl TZ. Look at that. Kumbaga siya rin ang pinaka nagiging taga-face check eh.
Oo nga
Dito ng BREN eh.
Para siyang malaking digi. Ganun na yung nangyayari.
Oo.
Si Flap TZ.
So I guess Omega needs to be very careful on using their ultis.
Kailangan talaga. Speaking of ulti, nag-ulti na dito si Kurt. Si Heat, nag-ulti na rin. Nag-ulti na rin si Carl TZ. Ang dami ng mga ulti na lumabas. Pati Mountain Chakra, nag-ulti na rin si Toshi. Tumama lang sa kawalan. Si Flap TZ, si View at si Lasty na lang hindi nag-ulti.
Ang galing. Ang
Oo.
galing ng ginawa doon. BREN Esports, kumbaga ngayon ang ginagawa ng BREN, pag may dragon, back. Kahit anong mangyari, back tayo.
Pag nakita nila yung dragon na may tatong sisiw ni Kurt TZ, out agad.
Out na agad.
Oo.
No questions asked. Labas. Alis. Huwag nating i-engage.
Maambali. At naku, wala na yung dragon. Ngayon na ata mag-i-engage. Tama ka, Rob Luna. Kitang-kita lang natin. Nung
Oo.
nawala yung dragon,
Sila na.
tara, try natin sugudin.
Yun na yung go signal eh. Yun yung go signal. Or baka itong pana, pero I doubt Brilliance will be there. Nasa likod dito, Toshi.
Ang mahirap pa kasi dito, si Ribo, nagsiscale din. So, hindi mo rin basta-basta, hindi mo basta-basta matatawaran yung araw magbi-miss dito. Binibait lang pala. Blood plug sa tama. Stretching the dive. Magmumula dito kay Lasty. Yung dragon nandito na pero mukhang na-late na ata. From Dragon Warrior to Dragon Katol para kay Curtisi ngayon. Naku po, wala silang mahuli. Nag-collapse bigla yung Omega dito. BREN Esports taking heat. And this is the perfect opportunity para makakreate sila ng space para makuha itong Lord na to.
Definitely. They could take this Lord or they could still fight here. Omega since wala pa rin naman Black Dragon dito. Si Curtisi.
Cooldown pa. Ay, hindi. Meron na. May Black Dragon na ulit.
Pero ang tanong, gagamitin ba nila dito? They don't have a tank for the next 5 seconds at mukhang Carl TC confident going into the backlane dito ng Omega.
Actually, nawala na nga ata. Toshi na paggamit na din ng kanyang Falling Star Moon. Oh no! This is bad news para sa Omega dahil gusto ng BREN itong laban na kanilang magagawa. Nako, mega kill pa nga si Flap TZ habang sina Carl TZ ay GG easy ang pagtusok sa kanilang mga kalaban. Ubos ang tatlong hero sa side ng Omega.
Omega is slowly crumbling dito, going into the mid game, or rather into the late game. Mas confident ngayon dito ang BREN. Now they know when and how to fight. Honestly, lagi nating ini-emphasize dito yung Black Dragon form. Pero Toshi dito I'm still looking forward. Is he gonna get the steal? The Falling Star Moon. But alam ni Carl TC.
Spider Sense mula sa Child Prodigy. Huli ka ngayon, Toshi Boy.
Oh.
It was a trap.
All along.
All along. Nahuli siya sa aking trap card. Toshi Boy.
Yun yung naliigan si Toshi doon, men.
Oh my glove.
I'm not really
Sixth
sure
sense yun
kung nakita siya doon ni Carl TC going in, but wow, that was anticipated. Anticipated na yun. And hinold din nila eh. Hinold din nila. They know when, kung kailan pa kukunin yung Lord. and this is that was gonna be the perfect opportunity. Ito yung pinakamatagal nating naging laro, and this comeback, sobrang disiplina ng BREN dito.
Ang hirap din kasi lamang na lamang ang Omega kanina, pero isang clash lang ang nawala nung na-set
Yes.
up Rob Luna. At ayun, parang nag-snap bigla si Thanos.
Oo. Nawala.
Nawala lahat ng kalamangan ng Omega.
Totoo yan. Pero ito this gonna be hard. Defense coming from Omega. They have to burn something here or else mawawalan sila ng base turret. But
Naniniwala na ako sa sinasabi mo, Rob Luna, na itong Barats talaga kailangan mawala
I
sa
think so.
lineup ng dalawang teams na to.
Kailangan mabago.
Kailangan
Yung dynamic
mabago.
din kasi nung drafting nag-i-evolve doon sa Barats.
Totoo. At yung Barats ngayon ni Flap Easy ay nandito na galit na galit. Stomping the tower. Carl TZ naghihintay ngayon. Si Toshi na naman ang kanyang uhulihin. The tower will now fall down. Pupunta ngayon sila dito sa bandang taas. Sino ang unang mapipitas? Nagkaka-tiyanian lang ang dalawang teams. Pero BREN Esports, makuha na nila ang misyon.
Oo. Bison. Pero look at this. GC is really having a hard time dito na makahanap ng mapapatay niya dito. Sobrang dami. In terms of mobility din kasi, yung mages dito ng BREN Esports, ang hirap hulihin.
Ang hirap
The
talaga.
Kadita just get oddity out. May brilliance dito coming from the Lunox. Look at that Flap TC.
At saka may damage yung Kadita, may damage yung Lunox eh. Ayan oh, yung Chaos Bolts, bukod sa ang hirap hulihin, pag hindi mo nahuli, pwedeng ikaw pa yung mapatumba.
Totoo. And medyo nagiging defensive na rin kasi si Haji going nung mid-game Kasi wala siyang after the traceless, wala na
Oo,
Diba?
tapos na eh.
So ang pinaka nagiging initiation nila definitely was yung paggitna ni Hit and definitely yung Black Dragon ni Curtis.
Correct.
Doon lang nagiging matapang dito ang Omega. Right after that, wala na.
Oo. Ano eh, no? Parang nabasa ng BREN eh, na okay, walang dragon, di na matapang yan. Gera na tayo ngayon. At nagiging careful na lang ang BREN sa pagpasok. Look at this. The setups, ladies and gentlemen. Every single time na susubok ang Omega pumasok, wala silang napapala. Tinatangki lang lahat ni Flap TZ. The super rookie na pumasok ngayon dito sa MPL, doing wonders for BREN Esports.
Wala silang magawa doon sa Barats.
Wala
Binabasag
talaga.
yung Torres sa harap nila.
At grabe, yung Barat kasi laki niya na yung Dragon dito. Nako po, Pew, tatakbo na din. Toshi with a slam dunk. Tignan natin, Hayes, siya namumula ngayon. Tinusok na naman. Unstoppable para kay Carl TZ. And it looks like this is the end of the line for the side of Omega. BREN Esports. This is going to be one win away match point para sa BREN. Ilista mo na nga ba, sabi ni Doc Ribo, dahil na isusulat na 3-1 ang score. BREN Esports, one win away para sa championship.
Wow, that was a very stellar performance coming from BREN Esports. They were actually down for the first half nung laro na yon, and suddenly, nabawi nila lahat nung mga naging lead coming from the arrows dito ng Selena ni Hayes. It didn't matter.
Doesn't
right
matter.
after doon, sa pag-invade ng purple buff ng BREN,
Oo.
wala na. It went all down for the side
Parang-
of Omega.
Grabe, Rob, lahat ng sinabi mo nangyari eh. Parang, yung pana, yun talaga dapat.
Yes.
Okay, gawin nyo ng tama yung pana. Pag nawala yun, natalo kayo ng team fight, magsiscale itong Barats, magsiscale itong lahat ng heroes ng BREN to the point na wala na kayong mapipitas.
Yes.
At ganun na ganun. Yung Dragon, pag wala yung Dragon, susugod yung BREN. Pag nandiyan yung Dragon, magbabak yung BREN.
Oo. Kita-kita yun eh. Even on the mid-game, nung sumugod, right after nung doon sa pag-invade ng purple buff, may isa pang team fight doon na nag-dragon si ano. Kitang-kita mo all of the members dito ng BREN. Back sila. Definitely. No questions asked. Walang lilingon. Back
Wala.
tayo. Pagtanggal ng dragon, sugod sila ulit.
Kung
Wow.
ikaw ang nasa posisyon ng Omega, kailangan mo ng 3 sunod-sunod na panalo. Ano ang nasa mindset ngayon ng team na to?
Most of the players, pagka tinatanong sila sa ganyan, they just don't think on the last game. On the game 7. They just think one game at a time. Kasi
Napakaganda.
it's
Oo.
pointless na isipin mo na abot pa tayo ng game 7, kumbaga, they need 3 wins eh. But sa ngayon, they only need 1.
Napakagandang punto. Kailangan ng hard reset ng Omega dito. At kami rin, magre-reset muna dahil ipapasa muna natin sa kaibigan natin na si Wolf.
Thank you so much, casters. What a wonderful match point victory, di ba? Para sa BREN Esports. Actually, may mga natutunan tayo sa laban na to that we develop. Bukod sa fact na Barrats wins games, ang key factor talaga sa victory ng BREN Esports is this world. Mamaya explain ko, but my name is Wolf, your analyst. We're gonna be talking about game number 4 na nangyari between BREN Esports and Omega at kung paano nga ba nag-play into importance ang hero na Barrats. Una sa lahat, meron siyang passive na resilience. Actually, tatanggalin ko yan. 3% each stack ng Barrats nung big guy passive. Bago siya lumaki, ay merong 3% resilience na ginagawa. What is resilience? Basically, ito po yung pang-kontra sa crowd control. And if you're looking at the lineup of Omega, ilan ba yung mga importanteng crowd control nandito? Of course, may stun si Baksha, meron control ang Yuzhong, and most importantly, Selena Arrow. At hindi makaporma dito si Hayes sa kanyang usual na ginagawa bilang isang Selena dahil tinatangki lang ni Flap TZ at inabuse ito ng BREN Esports up to 75%. At kung mapapansin nyo, all throughout that game ay tatangkihin lang ni Flap TZ yung pana at parang wala pa yatang isang segundo siyang napana. And it's okay for BREN Esports dahil free game yun bigla para kay Cartesi. Bukod dyan, mga kaibigan, ang Barrats ay nagkaroon ng importanteng ambag sa isang laban kung saan pag inalis mo siya mula sa kalaban mo, for example, BREN Esports, first picking the Barrats, it just meant na walang hard counter itong Omega, whatever it is na assassin na hyper carry para sa BREN Esports. Like, if it's Nick, if it's Roger, they don't care. As long as nasa kanila yung Barrats or na-ban nila. This time, BREN Esports denied pick it against Omega. Let's look at the post-game stats at binigyan natin yung bawat ambag na bawat player. Do take note, this guy, Cartesi, dealt so much damage, but Flap TZ as well, 59,000 ang kanyang deal na damage as well as damage. Tingnan naman, 169,000. Tapos kung i-compare mo yung damage output niya sa mga natangke niyang damage, makikita mo talaga na siya yung may pinakamalaking ambag dito sa game na to. And I think that Omega, kung gusto pa nilang mapatagal itong ating laban, kung gusto pa nilang ma-force ang Game 7 para makabawi sila, they have to start looking at this hero. Be it na i-ban nila kapag hindi nila pwedeng piliin or just take it away from BREN Esports because BREN Esports are so happy with this pick. Parang ano siya, glue na kahit ano na mangyari para sa side ng BREN Esports, whether it be a Roger lineup, a Ling lineup, kahit Yisun Shin lineup yan, wala silang katakot-takot. We will see in the highlights of this particular game na mahirap para sa Omega na mag-team fight in the mid-game even when they have an actually substantial lead at the start. Para sa Omega, nung ating early game, nakakuha sila ng importanteng kills. And Toshi was also phenomenal. Courtesy was great as well dahil sa kanyang mga initiation. Pero etong play na to talaga ang nagpahirap para sa Omega. Medyo, kung ibabalik lang natin ng konti, nanggaling dito si Kufra, saktong-sakto nandito ang lahat ng members ng Omega. Kaya din naman, itong angulo mula dito sa spot na to, papunta dito ay perfect para dun kay Lusty on this Kufra. Putting them all together. At syempre, dahil nandito sila sa gitna, look at the AOE damage na pwedeng i-deal ng BREN Esports. Meron kang Lunox, meron kang Barrats na by the way, ang sakit din ng damage in the mid-game dahil puro AOE din naman. Syempre, Kadita is there, and as well as Cartesi. And you know that Omega, they didn't have a chance to win this clash, diba? Ang makikita natin hindi pala ito yung clash na yun. Pero in this specific point din, ayan pala, si Toshi nilaban na rin niya, kaso kinulang pa rin. By the way, nagulat kami dun sa ginawa ni Hajisi na dodge na. We thought that he will die there, pero kulang pa rin. At nakita mo naman, diba? The Tonas welcome with the flicker. Nice timing from Flap TZ. And Omega cannot fight anymore. Napakahirap po ng pwesto ng isang marksman na lagi kang lumalayo. Imagine this. This is like what BREN Esports did against MPL-PH nung lagi lang nahanap si Wise. Hindi ka makapaglaro basically ng ML kung merong Barrats na kalaban. Kasi laging may threat na pwede kang ma-stun or mahuli or ma-detonas. And obviously, without you, the main damage dealer of the team, hindi ka makakuha ng panalo sa mga team fights. Now, Flap TZ, our MVP of the game, 4-1-8 courtesy of these Barats. But you would understand na hindi lang to dahil dun sa ginawa ni Flaptizi, but just the nature of the hero. Honestly speaking, I think the hero of the Grand Finals is definitely Barats. Kahit merong Link at Roger dyan na malupit na pinapakita ng ating mga core players from both teams. And maybe this is something na makikita natin na hindi na ibibigay ng Omega come game number 5, if ever. But that has been just game number 4 analysis. Marami pa tayong pwede makita. If you are here to support BREN Esports at #BREN lang malakas, do scan this QR code. At kung ikaw naman ay fan ng Omega at gustong-gusto mong mapadami pa ang iyong mga matches, scan this QR code as well. Also, gusto lang din namin makarinig from you guys. If you want to keep yourself updated sa mga happenings sa MPL-PH, visit our official MPL-PH page sa fb.com/mplph.official or scan this QR code. We'd also love to hear from you guys. So please fill in this survey. Nakita nyo sa QR code na to. At meron pa kayong chance na manalo ng rewards. Pwede rin naman sa susunod na QR code here. Fill up the survey and man, you can win all of the nice rewards from MPL. And obviously, marami pa tayong mga giveaway codes, but I believe na meron tayong i-draw na napakalupit. Ito na yata, inaabangan natin pinakamalupit na title ng isang mythical raffle draw. Super unique mythical raffle draw in 3, 2, 1. Ito na. Siya na yung nanalo. Congratulations sa'yo. 54 total skins including all legend skins. Grabe. Magic dusts, tickets, hero fragments, and premium skin fragments. Literally everything that you need. Napakaswerte naman itong nanalo ng super unique mythical raffle draw. I'm sure napakasaya nito. Mas panalo pa yata siya sa champion eh. With this, all of the rewards that he was able to get, man, nako, congratulations sa'yo kung sino ka man. That has been our super unique mythical raffle draw, and we thank you a lot so, sa lahat ng sumali at nag-participate with us with all of the giveaways. At syempre, sa'yo na nanonood up until this point, we are ever so thankful na sumasama kayo ngayon dito, syempre, para i-enjoy at i-analyze ang MPL-PH Grand Finals. Mga kaibigan, we still have a lot of giveaway codes for you guys. Well, it's true na baka ito na yata yung second to the last game, pero gusto ko lang din sabihin sa inyo na meron pa tayong mga giveaway codes every single game. So, kung gusto mo pa na mas marami pang codes at kung medyo nalulugi ka sa pag-redeem, well, why don't you wish na magkaroon pa ng mas maraming mga laban? But definitely, para sa BREN Esports, they want to finish this as soon as possible. Medyo natapa sila ng game number 2, but they're showing a lot of dominance and resilience in game number 4. Tingnan natin sa game 5 kung magbabago ang takbo ng laban. Maybe Omega can bring out something new. Maybe Omega all of a sudden brings out a counter or an answer to the Barats. We'll find out. My name is Wolf, your analyst. That has been my analysis of game number 4. Tignan natin kung ano ang masasabi ng ating mga casters.
Tumawag ba? Kanina?
Hindi ko masabi kasi hindi ko nakausap yung anak eh, si Chin Valdez,
Chin Valdez eh. Parang,
Oo.
parang nag-email lang ata
Nag-email lang, oo.
Oo eh.
Kasi iba
Iba ang
uncharted
tawag.
territory din kasi ito
Oo.
kay Ginoong Valdez. Kasi sanay kasi si Ginoong Valdez, game 5.
Game 5 sanay
Oo,
siya
so
eh. Ngayon,
posible.
7 eh.
Oo, 7. Pero well, posible. Kasi kung gusto ng game 5 dito, syempre, Omega needs to step up
Pwede,
dito
oo.
going into game number
Kasi
4.
kung
Ay,
email,
5.
kung email lang yung ginawa, may plano. May mga
Mm.
plano. Pero kasi yung pag alam natin pag bigla ang tawag,
Yun yung mas
nag-game 5 eh. Pag
Ay,
bigla
oo.
ang tawag
Kahit
eh.
sa mga lakad eh, normal
Oo
yan eh.
eh.
Di ba? Pagka pinlano nyo minsan, kuwari, 10 kayo magkakaibigan.
Oo.
Kung nagplano kayo na mag-swimming kayo,
Oo.
kada linggo na papalapit yung swimming nyo, nababawasan nyo ng 2, 1.
Oo, kasi
Ang-
nagplano kayo eh.
Oo, hanggang sa dulo,
Wala-
matitira 3, tapos magkakatamaran na.
Drawingan lang.
Drawingan na.
Pero kasi pag tawag, doon natutuloy.
Oo,
eh.
yung tara na.
Eh kanina, parang hindi tumatawag
Oo
eh.
nga eh.
Mamaya siguro.
Malaman natin.
Malay mo, gitna ng laro, tumawag.
Baka hindi pa tapos panoorin ni Ginoong Valdez yung game number 4.
Pwede.
Diba? So hindi niya pa
Pwede,
expected.
oo, pwede.
Pero going back dito mga kaibigan, we are already on game number 5, Omega losing the lead on game number 4. Suddenly, BREN Esports, naka-comeback sila.
Rob, ito ang tanong ko sa'yo eh. Ang dami na nating sinabing factors for this game.
Mhm.
The Barats, the Baksha, the Selena, ito na ba talaga ang time? Wala na. Pryo ban, Barats. No more. Stop. Kailangan na. Bawal na ibigay. Kasi,
Tingin ko, it's very possible. Eh.
kasi
Parang,
oo.
not only the Barats, I think they also have to think about Lusty eh. Kasi,
The Kufra.
oo, yung
Sige nga,
Kufra eh.
expound mo nga.
You wouldn't want to give Lusty yung mga hero with initiation eh. Kumbaga, ang laki ng difference ng Kufra ni Lusty compare doon sa Tigreal niya. 'Di ba? I mean, I'm not saying na hindi siya magaling gumamit ng isang Tigreal, pero kasi yung mechanic of the hero eh, 'di ba? Ganun yung nangyari. Kung mapapansin mo, paano ba sila naka-comeback dito against Omega? Number one, nawala na yung Black Dragon form agad doon ni Courtesy. Then suddenly it was in-expound din yun ni Wolf kanina. Nagkadikit-dikit doon sa may bandang gitna yung buong members ng Omega. Rather tatlo. Tumalon si Lusty, maximum range, dinikit yung tatlo, tapos nag-layering na yung mga AoE skills dito ng BREN. Tempest of Blade, the Breath of the,
Breath of the Ocean,
Rough Waves, yeah, the Rough Waves. Tapos, ayun na. Tapos, syempre, continuous yung damage din ng yung Barats doon, the so-called teamwork. Tapos, kung iisipin mo pa, no, kung lagi nating pinag-uusapan about the Barats is just simply -1 eh.
Oo nga eh.
It's
Talaga,
either you initiate,
nguya, tapos luwa.
Oo, or
Oo.
pwede rin you take out kung ano yung pinaka nagpapahirap sa inyo during the team fight, then iluwa mo na lang pag pwede nyo na siyang patayin.
Correct. Ang interesting, no? Kasi maging si Lusty ay nagiging target din dapat ng Omega. I really have a feeling na ang nangyari kanina is that inopen ng Omega yung Barats kasi 2 picks sila eh. So akala nila, or hindi nila inakala, in-expect nila na kagaya ng sinabi mo, uunahin na naman yung Courtesy hero. Uunahin na naman yung Ling, uunahin na naman yung either Lancelot. Pero dito pumapasok yung mind games din ni Daki. Yung nambibigla. Pinili niya yung Barats nung open. At tapos. Tapos ang boxing. Si Flop TZ pa yung gumamit.
I think they also have to change Toshi's hero eh. I mean, it's not, kumbaga parang nagiging nagiging passive si Toshi whenever is on the Esmeralda right now. Tapos ang nangyayari pa kanina, it's like it's not just once, it's more than twice eh. Na parang na iiwan siya kay Few. Parang sila yung nag-1v1, then suddenly nakakatakas pa si Few, yung passive niya, bumabalik pa yung HP niya, then suddenly nawawala. Marami tayong nakitang awkward falling star moon coming from Toshi.
Oo nga eh. Ang hirap nito kung ikaw ang nasa side ng Omega, I think hard reset talaga. Hindi tayo nagkaroon ng break. Talagang tuloy-tuloy ngayon tayo.
Oo eh, medyo.
Pero sanay naman tong mga to, sure ball.
Totoo yun.
Oo.
It's been late na din kasi, pero anyway, sa mga kaka-tune in pa lang sa atin, this is the grand finals. 1 game away dito ang BREN in taking the championship dito sa season 6.
Matagal nang inaasam ng BREN to. Kung iisipin mo, Rob Luna, ang BREN na org mismo itself, hindi sila yung totally na nag-champion eh.
Well,
kasi
nung
nung season 1, that was Aether main. And then eventually, nung season 2, naging defending champs lang ang BREN. Pero kasi nung MSC, BREN na yung pangalan nila. So, ang MPL title ay pwede nating sabihin na hindi pa nila talaga totally
kasi
nakukuha.
it wasn't, kumbaga pagka inaalala mo ang season 1, would still think of the Aether main as the name, even though...
As the name, yes.
Pero even though that was already BREN even before matapos yung MPL season 1. Pero what clear to us now, Manjin, is the first pick ng Omega. Kumbaga sabi nila and ito din, ang exact pick ng Omega kanina. No, this was just interchange.
Nag-switch
ganyan
lang.
na ganyan din yung ordering ng BREN Esports. Getting the Selena, getting the Esmeralda, in this only states that the whole, BREN Esports,
ganun
or rather
ganun
Coach
din.
Ducky, na alam ko, kukunin naman nila yung Barats. And tingin natin, dito natin makikita, ano nga kaya ang direct counter? Will this be the first game na magkakaroon ng Barats dito? Ay rather, matatalo ang isang Barats dito sa series? Or patutunayan sa atin muli na itong hero na to, kailangan na talaga na isama sa banning phase.
Naalala ko dati nung season 2, nung bagong pasok yung Kimi, yung bagong pasok yung Selena, ito yung mga high impactful heroes na hindi na dapat talaga ibigay, kailangan iban. Pero 2 pa lang ata yung ban nun, or 3. Pero ngayon ang 5, tapos nakakapasok tong Barats, I can therefore say, pag etong Omega na ibawi nila gamit yung hero na to, there's a possibility na manunerf. There's a possibility na manunerf yung Barats.
Totoo, it's a big possibility. Even on normal rank games, you wouldn't even see a Barats. So rarely, napaka-rare na ma-open yan even on the normal rank games. Pero still,
Kufra. The lusty hero is there, Rob Luna.
oo.
You've been talking about this. Sabi mo, wag na wag ibibigay. Rob Luna, pwede mo ba i-emphasize kung gaano ka nakakatakot talaga itong lusty na to?
Ano mapupunta ka sa mga awkward spots given, let alone na ang sport nila dito is gonna be having the Feather Airstrike. Meaning, it's like a channeling spell, di ba? Na kailangan mo into one place para hindi ma-cancel. Now, that's gonna be an easy target ka para sa isang Kufra, let alone yung YSS dito, kung iisipin mo, hindi naman ito gagamit ng Purify. Or even a Flicker. Dahil tatalon ka doon, and the only one na pwede mong pang defense was the Traceless.
Oo nga eh.
Oo. So, eto ngayon, BREN Esports, kumbaga nagiging story natin dito, mga kaibigan, is yung Selena, at yung kung sino yung support and tank dito, kung nasan yung Selena, sila yung kadalasan na nagbibigay ng tempo sa team nila.
Tempo talaga, yes.
Nakita natin yan on game number 4. It was, ang laki ng ginawa doon ni Hayes, pero syempre yung comeback potential, nandun yung Barats. Is it gonna be a deja vu na ginawa na nangyari kanina? Will it be Omega come up on top dahil nasa kanila naman tong Barats? Or BREN Esports gonna show us na kaya nila tong tapatan with a better draft, with a better tank? Kasi iba magkaiba yun Yung kanina kasi, Basha yung tank.
Oo, ngayon Kufra.
Yes.
Na na-open.
Totoo.
No? So, sinasabi lang ng BREN Esports na kapag ganito ang opening, guys, ganito dapat ang mga follow-up.
Totoo.
Parang ganun Ganun yung naging adjustment ng side ng BREN. Pero this time, open ang back siya, pero hindi to kinuha ng Omega. Instead,
I like this.
they went in for the Hylos and the Valir. But okay, is this the final carry hero na magpapa-champion kay Carl TZ?
This is another misdirection in the draft na naman dito for side of Omega. They've done this. Yung akalain mo, this is gonna be their position 4. Pero still, the Farsa will be the Toshi hero. Ginawa na nila
Farsa side lane.
Yes, ginawa na nila to sa execration. Will they be able to do it once again? This is a very crucial match for Omega.
Double mage setup para sa dalawang teams natin. Ang pumasok sa mga sinabi natin dito, Rob, ay ang Kufra nito ni Lusty. Pumasok na hindi na nila pinilit ang Baksha. At nakapag-double mage setup na ngayon ang Omega. Gaano kataas ang chance na may extend tayo sa Game 6?
Ako pupuso ako dito for Omega. There's
Game 6.
Game 6 probably. Pero yeah, I like this one.
Ay, teka na.
Ano sabi ng ng Realme Watch mo?
Sabi ng Realme Watch ko, parang may oras pa.
May oras pa. We're just heading on to 11 p.m. We still have more to spare dito, mga kaibigan. Feeling ko kasi mga ganitong time, di pa rin ganun kaantok
Yung
ang
mga
ating mga viewers.
Totoo, gising na gising. At buhay na buhay pa yung mga kaibigan natin na mga nasa kanya-kanyang bahay. Tatapusin na ba ng BREN Esports at papatunayan nila na sila nga talaga ang pinakamalakas? Meanwhile, Omega this time, nagpalit ng formula. 3 magkakasunod na panalo ang kailangan nila. Will BREN blow a 3-1 lead? Rob Luna.
Yon, that's gonna be the big question. Pero I'm really liking how aggressive ngayon dito ang Omega squad.
Let's look at the side lane matchups. Kurt TZ on the XP lane. Rebo naman and Tochi on the gold lane. Rob, ikaw, lahat ng role nilalaro mo, di ba? For sure, alam mo to. For sure, alam mo to.
Na-tried naman natin.
Gaano ka, ano ba ngayon? Madali ba ngayon ang mage side lane o mas prefer mo pa rin yung mga fighter Tams, yung mga fighter Khalid sa side lane? Or Masha?
Masha, well, hindi ko na siya gaano nagagamit ngayon. But in terms of what yung question mo, yung kung madali ba ang isang mage, specifically you're asking for the far side, no?
Oo.
Well, The only reason why the Farsa was there is just to hold it up until na mag-level 4 siya. Mabilis din naman siya maka-respond kasi may wings by wings. And ang pinaka-target dito for Omega is yung yung aggression nila.
Aggression.
Once they hit the level, mag-level 4 sila dito, or rather, mas mabilis din magkakaroon ng item dito si Toshi since siya yung nasa gold lane. Posible from there makuha nila. Pero yung arrow might connect, pero hindi. Attentive si Toshi.
Nakaramdam si Toshi, no?
Yeah.
And I think prepared si Toshi kasi he has the Purify right now sa kanyang battle spell. Meanwhile,
ang maganda dito, no, for the side of Omega, kung iisipin mo, di ba sabi natin dito, the Barats is just becoming, pagpupunta ng mid-game, nagiging parang siyang support. So, maiisip mo dito, Omega, pag nagdikit sila dito, mas mabilis sila mag-5-man.
oh, yeah.
Even on mid-game, ang bilis. Wings by wings, papunta kagad doon. Tapos, syempre, kasama na rin yung Barats doon.
Tapos may glorious pathway pa kayo. No? So, ang bilis ng response ninyo. To the point na hindi pa actually nakuha ng BREN itong purple serpent buff na nasa pit. Habang yung YSS nag-ultimate na lang, GZ, there you go, kinagat na ni Curtizy. Dito na welcome, nauntog si Carl TZ dito. First blood para sa side ng Omega at buhay pa din si Heat. And eto na ba ang arangkada?
Oh my, this is a very good start. Kung kanina, maganda rin naman yung start ng Omega kanina, but they aren't getting any kills. But this is a different approach. Nakuha nila dito si Carl TC.
Kakaiba to. And ngayon, alam natin na Omega, isa rin sila sa mga teams na kapag alam nilang lamang sa umpisa, they can punish and can punish and can punish
Oo.
up until the end. So, paano nila ngayon to i-convert sa mas malaki pang lamang, Rob? I think ito
ang sagot.
yung Lord. Ay, sorry,
Ang
yung Turtle. Oo.
At mahirap din i-contest to for the side of BREN Esports, and you wouldn't want Carl TC jumping dito. I think ibibigay na nila yan.
Oo. So, this time, BREN is now on the defensive side. Let's look at the Gillette instant replay.
Kita dito, mga kaibigan, hit. Barely dying, pero yung kunat pa rin ng Hylos, ramdam mo pa rin doon. Pero ang pinakamaganda doon was the initiation ng Barats na naman. The Detona's welcome, inabangan niya kung sa nag-BMI si Carl TZ.
At parang hindi niya na hinintay na mawala yung mga energy shields.
No.
Ni Curtizy. Sabi niya, sige na, gera na kagad. Sabi naman ni Heat, kami din. May gera kami ngayon. As the Glorious Pathway will come in, nandito si Hayes. Pero yung arrow ay maka-counter go si Heat. Ngayon, nandito si Curtizy, makakapatay ng isa. Si Haji Z at sino pa ba yung nahuli niya, kundi si Carl TZ. The crit is real. KDA Machine will take that triple kill.
That is a very risky play coming from BREN Esports. Yes, nakuha nyo, natanggalan nyo ng purple buff. Pero at what cost? 3 hero. At mababasag pa ngayon yung mga side lane nyo.
Parang hindi naging maganda yung trade-off.
Hindi, definitely hindi.
Sa ininvest ng BREN Esports on that part, so 2 beses na natatalo ang BREN sa Clash.
Pero
Rob Luna.
maiintindihan ko they have to make it work Kasi if you're gonna be playing it reactively, ganun din naman yung magiging resulta. You're just prolonging yung agony nyo So I guess it works if it works, pero hindi So now they have to pay the price.
Nag-fail. And yun yung commendable actually if you are really a pro player. You want to take those risky plays.
Definitely.
Na alam mo kapag nanalo kayo doon, ang laki din ng palit ninyo. Pero again, since natalo sila, paano nila mababawi ito? BREN Esports, nasa ganitong situation din sila kanina. But this time, look at this. Glorious Pathway pangharang. And Carl TZ is the main target right now. Can't really do anything.
Hirap ngayon dito ang BREN Esports, mga kaibigan. Slowly, Omega, chinochoke na nila dito in terms of the map control. Even on tempo, kanila mukhang malabo dito. Ang comeback na rito for the side of the BREN, if they probably lucky auto coming from few. Pero in terms of the team fight, I think they have to wait the Lord.
Ang hirap.
Mahirap na. Yung risky play na ginawa nila on the purple buff, they cannot be able to do it once again. Dahil another wipe out could probably secure a Lord sa side ng Omega. They still have this Claude
Yeah, at saka mukhang maaga matatapos yung laban.
Oo.
Kasi ang lakas na rin ng YSS ngayon.
Exactly. Ang mahirap lang dito is that this is not the Claude that has the Purify yes? So, kailangan maging tama yung maging timing using the Blazing Duet.
Yes.
At pang key to be able na magawa yun ni Carl TC if Losty could pull off a good ulti.
Yeah, I agree. And ang hirap nito kung Claude ka, no? Kung Retri ka. Kasi kailangan mo talagang umiwas. Plus, hindi pa nabubuo ni Carl TZ yung DHS as of now. Kumuha pa siya nung cooldown reduction boots.
Oo.
And never siya nakakuha ng purple. This is actually given kung kalaban mo ang Omega na lagi silang nandito sa purple pit. Binibigay nila yung orange, wala silang pakialam dun. Ilang games natin nakita itong Omega na napaperfect nila yung pag-invade sa purple pit.
Totoo yan.
Oo.
Saka ito no, yung Barretts dito, look at what he has actually doing. Parang nababaliwala naninegate yung vision na pinoprovide dito ng mga trap ng Selena.
Oo.
It's all because, ano naman, kung makita nyo, kami umaangat
Yes.
Sobrang tanky
Yes.
dito nung Barretts na pwede siyang umangat kahit may 3 miyembro doon ng BREN Esports. Ganon siya ka-confident na hindi siya basta mamamatay.
He definitely, Rob Luna. Oh no. Download game from OMG.
Is it gonna be the Barretts meta for this series, Kuya Manjin?
Eto na nga ba talaga? If ever man ma-extend ng OMG, ng Omega, itong series na to game number 6, I can definitely say na mawawala na yung Barretts.
Oo, at
Rob Luna.
magkakatotoo ba na if you force Carl TC into using marksman, you have a higher chance on winning against BREN Esports?
Na napag-usapan din kanina ng mga panelists natin. I mean, I think Carl TZ can also pull this off, no? Sobrang lupit din, pero iba pa rin kapag gamit niya yung mga
Oo.
umi-slashing and dashing na mga heroes.
Actually, isa pa sa mahirap dito for the side of BREN Esports, since walang purify dito si Carl TC. Yes, pwede kang tumalon, pwede kang mag-blazing do it, but still, the Barretts is there.
Pwede
The Detonas, di doon ka sa loob ng chan,
Mag-blazing do it.
Oo.
Sa sobrang hina ng mga bala, sa sobrang kunat nung chan ni Ditona,
Hindi
nung
kaya.
Barretts, hindi kaya ng mga bala ng Claude. At ang maganda pa doon, kapag yung Claude, kinain itong Barretts, pati yung unggoy ni Claude,
Oo.
huli din si Dexter.
Double pala yun, no?
Oo. Ayan na nga! Ay! Si Claude ang target! Yum, 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 yum. Rapsy!
Wala ka talagang takas doon, Kuya Manjin. Once na nilabas sa'yo yung dila, itaas mo na ang iyong kamay.
Tataas mo na
isipin
talaga. Buti pa yung
take me.
Take me, grabe! Tinesting lang ata din ni Curtisi kung may panlasa pa siya eh.
Totoo yan.
At ang nahuli niya, ang pinaka-nantripan niyang lasa, si Carl TZ. Oh, mega!
This is a 10-0. This is almost a perfect team fight.
It is a perfect game. And now, Lassie trying his best. Omega, they want to extend this. Wala pang matutulog. Maaga pa to, sabi ng Omega. Hindi patapos ang gera. Sabi ng Omega dito, 10k gold dito, Rob Luna. Slowly getting to game number 6.
Oh my. Still, hindi pa naman to nag-end. BREN Esports getting their first kill in the game, pero look at that lead. This is already a 10,000 lead for the side of Omega. At nakita natin yung isa sa winning condition ng BREN Esports. It was the Claude. Pero nakita mo naman, pagtalon niya, kinain na lang kagad siya ng Barretts. And what's left for BREN Esports once na nawala sa equation ang isang Claude?
Tamang FT lang. Pudrip lang.
Road trip, oo, ginawang midnight
Ginawang
na kahit hindi pa midnight.
Ayan ang mahirap dyan. Kapag yung alam mo, nagmi-midnight, tapos medyo nakakaramdam ka ng gutom.
Oo.
Yan talaga yung nakakataba eh.
Totoo
Speaking of taba, ang taba na ngayon ni GZ at ni Curtisi.
Totoo.
Ayan na oh.
Saka shoutout kay kay Coach Midnight.
Ay
Oo,
oo.
iba.
Iba.
Iba ang midnight
Nako,
ngayon, mga kaibigan,
ay, nako,
dahil look
ay.
at the damage dito. Haji on the monster kill on the YSS. This is a total different.
Iba talaga.
Oo, this is a total different YSS we're seeing on Haji right now. This is not the one kanina na di-deprive ng
Oo.
mga positioning, ng mga damage.
The KDA machine is back. Haji and company. Tatapusin na ba nila ang laban na ito? Mag-e-extend tayo. Boss, extend ka pa? Extend pa po. Omega taking this and forcing game number 6. Surviving BREN Esports. Eto na, yum, 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 yum. Delicioso. Grabe.
Man, nakita mo kung gaano sila kabilis. Medyo nag-matrix pa.
Nag-matrix pa!
Yung galawan doon ng Omega, nag-step up sila dito. Kumbaga nag-evolve coming from game number 5.
Sa sobrang lupit ng pagkapanalo nila, may special effects pa.
Oo, the glitch effect, mga kaibigan. But, still, they are still down. One game. Pero sabi nga natin, the mindset. One game at a time.
One
Nakuha
game at a
natin
time,
yun.
bro.
Isa pa ulit.
One game at a time, bro.
Are we?
Are we going to game 7?
Oo, but this is already the first time na may game 6.
Parang tumawag.
Parang ano nga hindi lang namin alam pero mukha nga yatang tumawag if Omega could be able to pull off another win. This is gonna be the first time, first ever ng best of 7 at mukhang mararamdaman din natin, literal, na 7 matches on the Grand Finals.
Nag-5 matches tayo kanina, Rob.
Tingin ko, sulitin na natin
Parang sulitin
Oo,
na
kasi
no? Last na to eh.
Last na to for the
Huling
MPL.
ura na eh.
Basically, baka next year na nga ulit ang MPL di
Oo
ba?
parang
So,
dapat,
why not?
Dapat extend na eh.
Oo,
Parang
kayo ba?
iuusan na eh.
Kayo ba mga kaibigan sa mga nanonood dyan sa inyong mga bahay o kaya sa mga kung sa opisina kung nasan man kayo ngayon, baka sa kotse nanonood kayo, mag-ingat kayo sa pagdadrive. Gusto nyo ba ng Game 7? Comment nyo yan dyan sa ibaba.
Ay, ako, Rob. Sasagutin ko na kaagad yung tanong mo. Ako, gusto ko lang ng mga malulupit na games.
Ako din.
Kahit game 10 pa yan, kahit game 12 pa yan,
Sa akin,
wala tayong magagawin kundi laban lang.
laban lang. Ang gusto ko pa doon, bukod sa laban lang, mawala yung Barats. Parang gusto ko mabago Mabago naman, tol.
Oo, kasi sunod-sunod eh. Sunod-sunod
Oo.
eh. Tignan natin kung iba pa na nga ba talaga ang Barat sa next game. Patunan natin sa kaibigan natin na si Wolf.
Di pa rin tapos yung streak. Barrett still wins games, so it seems. And that was the result of game number 5, this best of 7 series between BREN Esports and Omega. Omega naman nagpakita ng strength ng Barrats ngayon. At parang parehas lang actually. Nung sinabi natin last time, it was the Selena countered by Barrats at walang kahit sinong hero na kaya mag-survive nun. That we will explain later. But for now, why don't we look at the draft of game number 5? Do take note, na force ang lineup ng BREN Esports na mag-last pick na Claude. If you're thinking about it, siguro Claude na yung best case scenario para sa BREN Esports. Hindi naman sila pwede mag-1-1. Hellcurt could be an option or something like Bruno, diba? But BREN Esports, yung last pick nila na Claude, na checkmate sila ng Omega dahil na rin dun sa order of picks ng Omega. Do take note, Barrett's first pick para sa Omega, ang daming naban na core heroes at yung BREN ay napilitang kumuha ng Esmeralda and Selena. But I think that this is the time where we say, Selena, mukhang may counter ka na. And that is definitely the Barrats. Ilang beses din natin nakita all throughout this game na tinatangke lang ng isang Barrats ang arrow ng Selena and any other crowd control from BREN Esports. Not only that, yung play ni Heath para pigilan si Cartesi na makakuha ng purple buff since minute 1. That's also an important factor kung bakit nanalo ang Omega. BREN, sobrang dependent nila sa purple buff. That's Claude. Not only the purple buff na yung buff lang mismo, but the farm that you get, EXP and gold that you get from taking down the statue tracker or the serpent nga tinatawag natin ay importante para sa progression ng isang Claude. Iwan talaga sa farming ng isang malapit na Yi Shin na alam natin ay kaya mag-solo jungle para sa side ng Omega. That's also another factor that we have to take into consideration. Kinayang mag-solo ng core or ng carry ng Omega mag-farm habang binigyan niya ng free pass etong si Hylos as well as si Valier na mang-bully ng lane natin while BREN Kufra needed na tulungan itong si Claude at hindi na nakaikot members ng BREN Esports. One of those rare moments na masasabi mong na outdraft ang BREN Esports. But that is Omega. We know this team can defeat BREN Esports and have defeated BREN Esports before. Let's look at the post-game stats at tingnan natin kung sino may pinakamalapit na ambag and it still is Doshi on the Farsa. Do take note, ang Omega ay isa sa mga konting teams na masasabi mong comfortable sila na may mage side lanes and Toshi is one of those players na hindi takot at kabisadong-kabisado yung mga ganitong klase ng side lanes. That is why Farsa worked wonders for Omega as well. In BREN Esports, for the first time, makikita mo ang kahinaan ng kanilang lineup. I think that in the coming games para sa BREN Esports, hindi na sila magpapa-corner when it comes to looking for the cores. di ba? Parang yung carry choices ng BREN Esports dito doon ka na mapapaisip. Then again, that was just game number 5. Why don't we look at the highlights kung paano nga ba nag-develop itong Omega draft na actually, it's all about ease. Ito yun, sinasabi natin first na dominant na performance mula sa Omega kasi hindi nila hinahayaan na makakuha ng purple buff si Carteezy. In fact, Carteezy is just level 4 at this moment. Sobrang baba. Hajiz is already level 5 na eventually makakuha sila ng purple buff dito at hindi pa sila mamamatayan ng significant heroes. Then mag-snowball sila na mag-snowball. The emphasis of Omega to not give farm to Carteezy on this Claude really paid dividends. Ang ganda rin ng pag-collapse nila ng lahat ng members nila doon. Again, team fight for Omega dahil kaya nilang pumunta doon sa mid lane lahat. They have Valir and Hylos, very good bullies. At ang dami nilang pang-soak ng damage ng BREN Esports. Glorious Pathway was well done. Yung choices din, lalong-lalo na sa huli na to sa Claude. Ito na talaga yung masabi mong, it's over. It's over. Omega, they really steamrolled over BREN Esports. One of those rare moments na makikita natin na denominate ng isang team ang BREN Esports at saktong-sakto pa sa game number 5 yan ng ating best of 7 grand finals. This is why Omega is such a good team to really challenge BREN Esports. Sila lang yung nakatalo sa BREN Esports in a series at sila lang din ang nagpapahirap sa BREN Esports ngayong playoffs. My goodness, Omega, a worthy adversary for sure for BREN Esports. And Hajizi, the Yisun Shin, 6-0-3. Pero hindi rin niya ito magagawa kung hindi dahil sa kanya mga teammates. I think this was an overall effort coming out from Omega. And not only that, wonderful drafting coming out from Coach Dale. Ano kayang bawi ni Coach Ducky because of this? Or, pupunta ba tayo sa Game 7? And malalaman natin yan. Obviously, para sa game number 6, if you're supporting Omega and their campaign here sa MPL-PH playoffs, scan this QR code. At kung ikaw naman ay naniniwala talaga sa BREN at ang hashtag BREN lang malakas, scan this QR code as well. Would love to hear from you guys. And also, kung sino ng latest updates na latest para sa MPL-PH scene, of course, just visit the official MPL-PH page or scan this QR code. Gusto rin namin makarinig sa inyo mula sa inyong survey. Just fill it up and you'll have a chance to win rewards through this QR code. At syempre, sa susunod na rin na QR code. A lot of ways for you to win the rewards. Napakadali lang. Just fill out those forms. Speaking of rewards, we have a lot for you guys sa mga mahilig dyan sa giveaway codes. Every single time na magkakaroon ng post-match analysis, dito lang syempre sa solo analyst segment, mamimigay tayo ng mga giveaway codes. Tatlo yan, every single game. Kaya kung ako sa inyo, mag-wish pa kayo na marami pang games. At syempre, mag-stay kayo dito sa ating solo analyst segment. My goodness, it is already late na. Malapit at mag 2-day event ang ating grand finals. But then again, syempre, para sa mga viewers out there, the finals is just started. Actually, kahit pa match point na BREN Esports, Omega, hindi pa sila magpapatalo. Grab your snacks, grab everything. This is gonna be an exciting game number 6 for sure. The grand finals ng MPL-PH Season 6. My name is Wolf, your resident analyst. We'll find out kung ang Barats ba ay mababan na or may sagot na ba ang kahit sinong team sa nakakatakot na hero na to. We'll have to find out. Back to you, casters.
Ginaya ko lang si Wolf.
Yun nga
Yun. Ilang minuto na lang, 2-day event na naman tayo, Rob.
45 minutes to be exact.
Ayun. Ang galing mo doon. Ang galing mo mag-math doon.
Totoo yan.
Ayan. So, Rob, eto na ba ang pinakihintay natin? Ibaban na ba
Yun nga
ang Barats?
Actually, nag-post nga ako.
Oo.
Ngayon sabi ko, paki-ban Barats, please. Nag-please na ako.
Nag-please ka
Kasi,
na.
doon umiikot yung yung
parang
series natin
Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, Game 5.
Tama.
Puro Barats.
Para
Tsaka
Barats.
ang interesting kasi dito ngayon, sa laban ng BREN at Omega, hindi siya matagal Ganito kagaling yung dalawang teams.
Oo.
Pag alam nila panalo na kami, tapusin na.
Oo. Yung pinakamalapit lang siguro natin was game number 5.
Oo. Game number 4 actually. 4.
Yun yung yung may Lunox.
Close.
Oo, that was the very close fight na may comeback. Pero in terms of what you're saying kanina, totoo yun. Ang galing mag-capitalize kasi ng bawat team dito and on their lead.
Oo.
'Di ba? Katulad kanina, that was one of the perfect games in the series dito ng Omega. And grabe din in terms of the drafting, ginulat na naman tayo ng Omega. Yung the misdirection ng pagkuha nila, na yung Farsa, parang they've done this twice, 100% win rate in terms yun sa strategy na yon, yung paggulat ng biglang pagkuha ng Valier sa Hylos, it was done perfectly. Talagang nabasa ni Coach Dale.
Nabasa eh. Parang, eto formula, Rob balik natin. Game 1, BREN. Game 2, nagbarat sang Omega. Game 3, Game 4, nagbarat sang BREN.
Yes.
Tapos, hindi pa rin nila binaba ng barats ngayon.
Hindi pa din.
Okay.
Pero, ang isa sa mga naging dominant din for the side of Omega is hindi na nga tanggalan na natin ng assassin. Hayaan natin, siguro, they probably want to see the Harit. They probably want to see anything aside from these two heroes.
Wag lang
for
talaga
Carl
yan. Wag lang talaga.
TZ. Dito rin pumapasok yung sinabi mo na kung gaano nila kakilala
Si
dito
Carl.
si Carl. Yes.
Oo, kasi nakita natin kanina ang Claude ni Carl na hindi talaga nagkaroon ng pagkakataon na makakuha ng purple buff. And we all know, Claude, mas gusto niya yung purple buff kesa yung orange buff. So, eto na.
Pinakinggan na tayo, Kuya Manjin.
Narinig na.
Maiiba na. Pero still, the Uranus will be the one to be open dito for the side of BREN Esports. Pero at least,
Hindi
for
yung barats.
the game number 6, wala tayong barats.
Ito kasi
game.
pagkakaiba niyan, Rob, ang Uranus at saka Barats, halos, parehas tanky parehas magulo. Pero si Uranus kasi, walang bunganga, walang bibig.
Walang
bibig.
Walang bibig, kaya wala siyang...
Hindi ko makain yan eh.
Totoo.
Oo.
Totoo yan. So now, it was torn for Omega. Will still gonna be getting the Selena. Will still gagawin ba nila Farsa? Tinanggal na yung Farsa, no? So mukhang wala na yung certain strategy na ginawa.
Ganon din yung plan lagi ng BREN, no? Parang ang ginagawa nila, tina-target nila ngayon si Toshi. Meanwhile, ang Omega, tina-target nila si Carl TZ.
Pero, there's a part that doesn't make sense at least on this draft kasi the Esmeralda was already shown eh. Pero kasi syempre this is the first ban. So ngayon bumalik ngayon dito ang Omega on how they actually draft during the first 3 games, which is we're in nag-Esmeralda doon si Toshi. Now the Valier, kita natin kanina how aggressive dito si Few. The only thing for Omega dito ngayon is that they have to deny pick Lusty.
Lusty is the way. Lusty is the way.
I-deny nila rito si Lusty or they get a hero for Haji, then magban na sila ng hero ni Lusty.
Pag na-activate si Lusty dito, ma-activate ang buong squad ng BREN. Tama ba ako, Rob?
Oo. Ang isa pa dito, well, it's Roger is the best scary for them. You wouldn't want to have a YSS dito sa ganitong lineup.
Ganito. So, pwedeng iban ang YSS ngayon.
Possibly.
Ng Omega.
Well, this is also, pwede rin naman nang mag-Claude ulit ang BREN dito or even yung Harit nga eh.
Oo.
Diba? Pero, we'll see kung ano ang magiging pick dito ni Carl TZ.
Gagana ba sa'yo to, Rob Luna? Dinabas ng BREN Esports yung double U side lane, the Uranus, and the Yuzong.
Okay.
Ang kunat nito ngayon, ha?
Yes, makunat sila, pero they are very reliant on staying on their lane. Kumbaga, this is not the type of heroes that yung pumupunta. 'Di ba naging successful for Omega this past few games. Nung game number 2 and game number 5 is yung nagsasama sila kagad. Because of the Barats, 'di ba? So ngayon, if this is the way BREN Esports want, they want to have a very strong side lane, probably Omega could be able to target the mid dito for BREN Esports. Give Carl a hard time na makapag-farm.
Yeah.
Yes, kasi Uranus, given na yan. Even Yuzhong, given na yan. They could be able to farm on their own respective lanes. Pero, let's just target kung nasan ang weak link or nasan yung weakest point ngayon ng BREN Esports. That's probably makipagsabayan sila dito kay Few sa gitna. Or, of course, this is still a Selena. We've seen Haze, time and time. Nag-deliver talaga siya pag magamit siya ng Selena. Who knows?
Oo.
Diba? Who knows?
Pwede, no? Ngumiti na si Mr. Fundamental.
Alright. I like
At
this.
mukhang ninakawan nila ng akay. Si Lusty, dito papasok yung sinabi mo, Rob.
And that I think the Tigreal at this point is really slow. Well, they
Kung pipiliin yung
probably
Tigreal.
they would try the same thing that Omega did on game number 5, the high loss. That's gonna be a possibility, pero ano ang magiging core dito
Ng BREN.
Ng BREN. Is it gonna be
Yeshunshin?
the Yeshunshin?
Yun na lang
or
ang natitira
the
eh.
Harit?
The Claude?
Or rather the Claude? What is it? The 1-1 probably gonna be too clunky
Option,
para
yeah.
sa kanila. Who knows? But
Harit.
it's gonna be the Harit. They did it yesterday and a
Popol and Kupa.
Okay.
Ang Chicho Dog. Okay,
This is-
Rob Luna, anong meron ngayon? Parang
This is
Ganyan
quite good in the early stages of the game for BREN Esports. Sobrang magiging aggressive nila. Kasi whenever you see a Valier, certain team, ano talaga, you have to partner it with someone na sasabay doon sa Valier. Not unlike, hayaan mo lang yung Valier mag-poke and bantayan. Kasi most of the time, Carl TC are just being left out. Pero kasi this is the Harit. Alam natin, this is very dependent on the purple buff. So, it's up for Omega to set the tempo. If they could be able to pull off something dito for Carl TC, this is their main damage, and after that, it's all about sustain.
Yeah. So, eto ang win conditions ngayon, Rob. No? Kailangan ni Few dito, si Lusty, na mag-follow up sa kanya. Hindi pwedeng si Few lang. Kasi may hirapan siya dahil, yun nga sinabi mo, look at the lineup of Omega, Selena, Akai, and even the Khalid can match up with both of these heroes.
Totoo yan. And what I really want to see right now is what's gonna be the spell for the Akai dito. Most of the Akai players natin dito na sa MPL Season 6 was using Sprint. Pero at this point, I would like to see a Petrify.
Para mas madali.
That's gonna be yung, ano kasi, di ba, yung, alam mo naman yun, hindi mo laging aasahan yung blender saka yung 1,000-pounder combo for you to get that mini stun eh. You would like to have a specific para mas madali mong ma-pin down. But it's gonna be a flicker.
Flicker? Well, actually, pwede rin.
Probably, it might work.
Flicker? Parang pag flicker ka kasi sa Akai, mas action Jackson ka eh.
Yes,
Pag
yes.
Petrify, gusto mo yung sure. Sure na huli. Pero sige, pwede na rin. Flicker Akai, para ngayon kay Heat. So now, looking at the rotations,
Alam ng BREN
na mag-orange.
This is the usual rotation coming from Omega eh, na the Selena will just have the purple buff ready for Haji, then suddenly hit. Pag hindi mo siya nakita na nag-invade on the early stages of the game, alam mo na siya yung dumadamage doon sa orange buff ni Haji.
Oo.
And Few knows that.
Alam ni Few, sinubukan actually ni Few na
Ayun,
na-reset.
Na-reset niya.
Na-i-reset.
Medyo kumain din yun ng oras
Kay
for
Haji.
Haji, definitely.
Yeah. I like the pinoint out mo yun, Rob, na aware na ang BREN na may mga ganong situations. Pero still, nakuha pa rin ni Haji. Pero gaano kalaki itong delay na to, Rob?
In terms of rotation, nakahabol. Kasi in theory, mas mabilis kumuha ng purple buff ang isang what do you call this?
Harit.
Roger.
Roger, oo.
Pero ngayon, nakasabay yung Harit. It's all because of that reset na ginawa ni Few.
Yeah, I like it na pinoint out mo yon. At ngayon lang din makakakuha ng orange buff dito si Carl TZ. Pero parehas na silang level 4. Meanwhile, normalan lang si Flap TZ. At ang kanyang kalaban na nasa top lane na si Kurt TZ. There you go. For the preparations of this one.
Oo, gusto ko yung pag-cut doon ni Courtesy and giving the space doon kay Haji to peel up some of the energy shield dito sa may top lane.
Oo,
So, na-force dito ngayon si Lusty na mag-defend.
Oo. Pero ito yung Popol and Kupa na ito yung pinag-usapan natin kaninang isa sa mga possible win conditions ng BREN Esports. Lusty on the Popol and Kupa. Hindi to yung type na may setup.
Yes.
So, sino ngayon ang magiging main initiator ng BREN Esports?
They could be able to mimic what Omega did kanina. That was the Black Dragon.
Dragon.
Pero Omega could also do the same thing na pwede silang mag-back once the Black Dragon was there. Ang pinakamaganda lang dito for the side of Omega in terms of the Harit dito ng BREN Esports, they do have this Akai. So once the Zaman Force was there, alis. Just like almost the same on the Black Dragon. Alisan natin yung Zaman Force. Let's not fight kung nasaan ang Zaman Force dito ni Carl TZ.
Oo, talagang pag nakita mo yung Dragon, Mambalicious, Mamba out.
Yes.
Or actually, pag umabot sa point na ang lakas na rin ng Omega, pwede nilang labanan eh.
Actually, pwede.
Pwede kasi merong may Akai na pwede siyang itulak after the Black Dragon form.
Yes.
At hindi siya makakapag-Dragon Tail, walang nakap na magaganap. Meanwhile, may onting pag-poke ang dalawang teams dito sa gitna. Wala munang mangyayari. Dahil magre-reset lang yung dalawang teams.
Sobrang pantay ng dalawang teams natin dito, imagine, on game number 6. They know, I mean, this is still one game up for BREN, pero napaka-cautious nila dito against Omega on early game.
Speaking of cautious, naku po, Cartesi maitutulak mula sa likod. Pero buhay pa rin yung Zaman Force, pero hindi na siya makakapag-dash out. Yataps ang Child Prodigy, pero double kill para kay Flap Tazy. Sinong nanalo dun sa exchange na yun, Rob?
I guess it's BREN Esports winning that one. Yes, nakuha nila doon yung Harit, but it's still Flap TC. This is the other carry of BREN Esports right now. And syempre, gaya nga nasabi natin doon, hindi na pin down, definitely. Na-burst nila doon, medyo nalayo nila slight si Harit doon sa may Zaman Force na. Pero syempre, the other win condition dito for the side of BREN Esports, it was technically Flap TC.
Ang ganda rin pala siguro talaga ng Akai pick dito ng Omega kung iisipin mo, Rob. Kasi I think they are expecting the Harit to come out.
Yes.
From BREN Esports, which is actually ang ginawa ni Heat. Tinulak niya lang ng todo si Carl TZ palayo ng Zaman Force.
Oo, pero ang ano dito mukhang masisecure ng BREN Esports tong turtle na to.
Oo, mukhang libre to.
Oo, mukhang ibibigay na lang to dito since ang kapalit naman nito is gonna be the outer turret dito sa may top lane ng BREN Esports.
So, ang sinasabi mo dito, Rob, nagkakaroon lang dito ng ng parehas na exchange.
Oo, favorable. Pero yung pana, tumama kay Flap TZ.
Let's see. Pumasok ngayon si Toshi. Ito na ba ang tunay na team fight? Team Omega?
No,
Just defending the tower in the mid lane.
Yes, kailangan nila. Kailangan either of the two teams na to hold on the outer turrets dito on the mid lane or else medyo mas magiging dominant yung team na unang makakabasag dito sa gitna. I think the Khalid courtesy dito is actually winning his own corresponding lane. Meron na siyang deadly blade dito. So that only means dito si Ribo or even Flap TC would have a hard time na makipag one-on-one doon kay Khalid.
Kailangan na nila mag-ingat kasi bawas agad yung regen. I like it that na pinoint out mo na nag-focus agad si Cartesi dito sa pag-counter rather than bumili ng mga items na makakapagpadagdag ng damage niya or makakapagpatangke sa kanya dito. Quickly, nakikita mo kagad ang disiplina sa Omega pero still, BREN, mukhang mas sila pa rin ang umiikot sa mapa, Rob Luna eh.
Yes, sila yung umiikot sa mapa pero kung mapapansin mo dito, mas nagiging clunky for the side of BREN Esports. They just nandun lang sila sa gitna.
Gitna lahat,
Oo,
no?
nasa gitna. And the only one that's been holding its own corresponding lane was the Uranus on the bottom lane. Now, what's gonna be the answer? Kasi yung lead dito ng BREN Esports is just barely 400. It's all because nakuha nila yung turtle. Pero, technically, ang nagsiset pa rin dito is Omega eh.
Oo parang hindi rin makalapit yung BREN.
Yes.
Kasi yung Omega, alam nila na may pang-counter go. Alam nila na may Hurricane Dance. Alam nila na may Sandstorm, may Pana. At ang nagagawa lang nila, Steve, pinang-scout niya lang yung Chichudog.
Yes, and as well, syempre, yung mga trap din niya. So parang it's a battle of vision on both of the two teams. Kumbaga, yung mga traps nila dito is just being used as a vision on both sides.
Ayun na nga. Vision is the mission. Tama ba?
Pwede.
Kapag may mission, may vision.
Yes.
Yun.
Totoo naman. Pero ang mas totoo dito is kung sino yung makakakuha ng orange buff.
Sino nga ba? It is going to be, again GZ.
Nako, delikado si Ribo.
Delikado si Ribo. Kaya yan. Regen para kay Ribo
Pag
dito.
nag-like and pounce, baka pwede pa. Pero yung turtle dito, sa ibaba.
Hindi aabot. Wala doon si Flap TZ. Wala doon din si Q. Q, tatamaan siya ng trap dito. Atake siya ni Hayes. Hello, my friend. Habang yung Dragon dito ay sumusugod na. Tumatakbo na ang side ng Omega. Flap TZ papasok ngayon with the Dragon Tail. Si Flap TZ!
Wow!
The super rookie! Doing it! Para sa BREN Esports.
Is this it for BREN Esports, mga kaibigan? That was a perfect place of Zaman Force doon sa may turtle pit kasi ini-expect din naman ni Carl na probably baka mapin down siya, placing the Zaman Force in between or rather inside doon sa turtle pit. Makakagalaw siya, makakapag-chrono dash siya. At yun yung perfect na senaryo para sa Harit.
Ang ganda nun, kumbaga pag naitulak siya, doon pa rin siya na nasa loob ng Zaman Force.
Oo, hindi siya na ilayo
Oo.
doon sa Zaman Force na yon, and it perfectly worked for Carl TZ.
Gusto ko lang din i-point out, Rob Luna, na besides the fact na ang ganda nga nung Zaman Force positioning is that Flap TZ, ito na yung tanong ko sa'yo kanina eh, sino mag-initiate? The super rookie with the setups, 4-0-1. Ito ba ang pinaka-dilema ngayon ng Omega na kalaban?
Yes, I guess. And just to point out, ang ganda rin ang position ni Few that time. Yes, he was actually almost a 1/4 HP, pero hindi na siya pinansin eh. And tinulak niya lang doon yung Hurricane Dance ni
Actually, kahit namatay siya, nagawa niya yung trabaho niya eh.
Totoo.
Oo eh. So, yeah, BREN Esports outwitting Omega doon sa nangyaring laban as they are now pushing towards the top lane. Basag agad because of the Popol and Kupa. Ito rin yung maganda sa Popol and Kupa hero ngayon eh, no?
Oo.
Easy tower taker.
Easy tower taker, and as well, ang pinaka-dominant ngayon dito is yung how BREN Esports punish the rest of the members dito ng Omega. Just the slightest mistake on the turtle pit, pero mukhang may bawi pa naman dito yung Khalid kay Lusty.
May palag pa din.
Pero crucial to tumama yung pana.
Tumama yung pana nga as Team BREN will bait that arrow. Hindi pa rin namamatay si Flap, hindi pa rin namamatay si Rebo. Actually, si Ajizi ay hindi rin namamatay, so pwede pang may gawin dito. Ang Omega, the arrow will not connect. Para dito kay Haze.
Medyo napipreoccupied sila dito kay Rebo sa may bottom lane.
Ang tagal, no?
This might be a bad turn for the side of Omega as Flap TC used Black Dragon dito.
Mukhang setup. Mukhang setup talaga. Actually, wala silang napalang dalawa. Omega sumusubok kumuha ng kill dito pero laging nakakatakas ang BREN. Ano nangyari doon, bro? Oh no!
What Omega really needs to do right now, Manjin, sa totoo lang,
Oo.
is just to hold it. They don't...
Kalma lang.
Kalma
Oo.
lang. Basically, they could outscale the heroes of BREN Esports dito. But if they gonna be too hasty, kung medyo minadali nila or pinalagan nila, hindi nila kinuha yung correct timings nila dito, BREN Esports definitely can outrun everyone from the side of Omega. Pero this is what BREN Esports needs to do right now, is try to take the Lord and make Omega into positions na awkward para sa kanila.
At ang awkward nga, men, kakasabi mo lang awkward positioning. Omega, kanina pa, yung mga arrows, tumatama, pero awkward kung papasok ba tayo o hindi. Hindi nila malaman ngayon kung go ba or back muna.
Yes,
So,
yes.
patience talaga ang kailangan ng Omega dito dahil
Yeah.
yung BREN, pinaglalaroan lang yung utak nila.
Exactly. Ang part, yung paaro tumama doon kay kay Carl
Carl.
TC, but Hayes won't be risking it just to try to kill it. Pero ang tingin ko ang ginagawa dito ng BREN is just trying to attack the Lord.
Oo.
Pero when Omega tries to contest, they would definitely go for the heroes dito ng Omega.
Makikita natin yan. Dahil yung Lord ngayon ay inaatake na ni Carl TZ. Is this a bait though?
It is.
Nire-reset lang ang Lord dito, Rob. At naglolokohan lang si Toshi at si Rebo sa top.
I guess Omega is likely winning this attrition battle. Sa totoo lang, Manjin. Kasi gaya nga ng sabi ko, they are gonna be the one na mas mag-scale. Pero speaking of scale, mukhang
habol yan.
medyo
Habol
Rebo,
yan. Oh no.
kulang yata yung pagpapaputi dito ni Toshi.
10 bits yung pagpapaputi, pero kaya actually na
Mukhang
pagpapaputi.
kaya nga.
Sabi ni Toshi, teka lang, Doc Doc, ito ba reset Doc? Doc! Teka lang, kalma. Nagkakasaykuhan.
Oo,
Nagkakasaykuhan.
nagkakasayawan. This probably gonna be one of the closest fight natin in the series. This game number 6 is really giving us the chills. Ito na nga kaya, will BREN Esports be able to close this one for the Grand Finals or Omega forcing a Game 7 against BREN Esports?
Ito ata yung pinaka no?
Dikit.
Pinaka-dikit.
Totoo.
Hindi kagaya nung 4 Nung 4 parang may nakakapag-push pa rin So ngayon, Zaman 4, sa abulin ba? Nanggigil ng onte si Carl TZ dito kay Toshi.
Kaso medyo nasa awkward position ng BREN
Omega,
Esports
naku po, ito ang gusto nilang laban pero may nakakap sa tatlo. Ang ganda ng kuha ni Doc Rebo. Mawawala sila dito para kay Heat. Pero yung paaboy ni Pew 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 habang yung dragon ay narito na. Huli kayo, Omega. 4 ang nawala sa kanila.
They can finish this one.
Ito na ba ang katapusan ng Omega? Merong minions dito. Si Curtizzi ang natira. Tatapusin na ng BREN.
Nako.
Ayaw na namin
Nako po, ito na yun.
BREN Esports, ang pinakabagong kampiyon sa MPL Season 6. Hashtag BREN lang malakas!
Oh, wow. The Barats doesn't matter on game number 6. The awkward position that was given to BREN, na comeback nila yon, killing Toshi on the process. Humabol si Toshi doon.
Oh,
He was killed.
my.
Yung crowd control ni Few, tinulak niya. Tapos sunod-sunod na rin ang pagdating ng mga miyembro dito ng BREN Esports. Well-deserved win for the team with the black and yellow. BREN Esports all throughout the regular season, showing us how to dominate.
Sa wakas, ang tagal inasam ng BREN Esports after so many seasons in the MPL. Yes, we can say that they were the defending champs of Season 2. They got MSC. But still, yung kampyonato na gusto nilang na-claim talaga sa pangalan nila,
Ito na
ay eto na.
Eto na.
Yung pirma, eto na. History na naman para sa MPL at dinaan lang sa isang minions, Rob.
Isang minion, isang siege minion na hindi na kinaya ni Curtizzi patayin on his Khalid. Wow.
Props to Omega para sa pagbibigay sa atin ng napakagandang laban. Deserve nila tong grand final slot na to. Deserve nila na nandito sila. Pero pinatunayan lang ng BREN, uulitin lang natin na sila pa rin ang pinakamalakas.
Totoo. Ito na. Well, Force, congratulations once again to the whole squad, the whole team of BREN Esports. Of course, to Coach Ducky as well.
Sa lahat.
Sa lahat
Sa
na sumusuporta, sa bumubuo ng BREN. You all deserved it.
Grabe. On behalf of the casters, the prod team, lahat ng nakasama natin sa interview, lahat ng teams nakasali sa regular season, nakasali dito sa playoffs, mula sa mga driver natin, mula sa mga social media pages na post ng kung ano-ano man. Marami pong salamat sa inyong lahat. Kami po ang inyong mga naging tagapagsalaysay na natunghayan ninyong laban. Isa pong karangalan, makapagkwento sa inyong mga harapan. Ako po si Manjit Paldas. Kasama ko si Rob Luna. Yun na yun. That is it for MPL Season 6. Ipasa na natin pasa na natin sa ating mga panelists. Kumusta kayo dyan?
We're doing really well here. And let's run it down real quick. Season 1, Aether Main. Season 2, Signal Ultra. Season 3, Archangel. Season 4 and 5, Sun Sparks. Season 6, BREN Esports. In a dominant regular season, a dominant playoffs. Ito na talaga ang best opportunity natin na pwede talaga sabihin, BREN lang malakas. Ako po si Reptar, and we're here with Ocho Cahaba and Midnight, your panel to close out the series, and that went to 6 games. Malabo na umabot to na isa, dalawa, to less than that. It was either gonna be 6 or 7 talaga.
Yeah.
With the caliber of these two teams na pinakita nila, the fact that they mirrored their drafts, their movement so well, it was a mirror match all throughout. Nakita talaga yung mga fundamentals.
Yeah, alam mo, again, totoo yung sinabi natin kanina, no? Battle of Brothers. They're really similar in a lot of ways. But the sad thing is, the sad and great thing is that we crown one champions on this matchup. Isa lang talaga eh. And definitely well-deserved naman yung grand final spot. Both of these teams, they deserve it a lot, especially when we have new grand finalists here. No, maraming bagong grand finalists. Even Flaptizi, diba? It's his rookie season and champion. Diba?
I can't believe na ganito yung recipe lang pala na kailangan ng BREN Esports. Nasabi ng casters parang it was a long chase for the back-to-back round. Imagine this, nung Season 2 na final sila. Season 3, another finals performance. Season 4 and 5, they kind of feel lost. Although meron sila ng mga recipe na hinahanap natin, kinailangan lang talaga nila ng pinakahuling touch. And it was Flap TZ, the super rookie
Yeah.
ng ating season. Pero syempre, ganda rin talaga ng draft ng draft battle between two teams.
Yeah, a draft battle, rotation battle, a mirror match. So many things to say about it. Tignan natin ang mga numero. The data post-match from that game number 6, 10-2. And you pointed out the rookie in his rookie season from RG streams to champion. Flap TZ, that knock-up na dinala, na nilabas ng Yuzong na in that crucial moment na sabi ng Omega, mag-engage tayo dito, punish natin to. The knock-up from that Yuzong changed the whole team fight.
Man, I think ito yata yung best Yuzong performer or player. At least all in the playoffs, sure ako, masasabi ko na kay Flap ko nakita yun. Their game against MPL-PH, that game 1, yung pinrove ni Flap TZ with this Yuzong na iba yung understanding niya ng hero na yon. And this guy, ilang beses niyang pinunish yung Omega nang nag-overchase sila. Tapos meron kang knock-up courtesy of the second skill ng Yuzong, and that was amazing coming out from Flap TZ. Kaya naman, hindi nawala na yun eh. Parang hindi ka siya rookie kung maglaro eh.
Yeah. Alam mo, ever since parang yung unang beses natin nakita yung Yuzong ni Flap TZ, I never felt like it's a greedy hero. The way they use Yuzong is for his teammates. Again, protect the king, protect Carl TZ. And sobrang gandang narrative nito, just to share with everyone. 0-1-8 yung score ni Carl TZ. This is the first time na na-experience na hindi siya yung nagbuhat for the team. Yes, he did well, pero he found gracefulness in his teammates, bringing him the championship. Ito ang player na magtitiwala sa sarili niya, pero dinala siya ng team niya sa gusto niyang marating.
And parang poetic isipin mo, ang dragon ni Flap TZ ang natalo sa Omega.
Yun yung masakit eh.
Masakit eh.
Yun, ito ririto ko kaya. Kausap ko kasi si Carl before. Sabi niya, maganda yung laban. Kasi again, SGD yung kalaban niya or Omega Esports. Ang masakit kasi dito, tinalo niya yung old teammates niya. Diba? Pero syempre, the grace is, he did it in front of his teammates na parang, guys, naabot ko na yung gusto kong gawin. Yun nga lang masakit, syempre, tinalo mo yung old teammates mo.
Yeah, I guess it's masakit eh. It's a dagger to the heart. Pero feeling ko, sila eh. Alam mo yung bromance na medyo may tumutulo pang luha na bro. Sorry, pero para makuha ko yung kailangan ko.
Then umiiyak din yung Omega, parang bro, okay lang, we're proud of you, bro.
Okay lang, pare.
A former coach here for Carl TZ, Midnight. It is emotional, but let's look at the highlights from this game number 6. It was close. We highlighted off-stream na nag-uusapan tayo dito, the Popol and Koopa pick for Lusty. The last 2 picks were the Popol Koopa and the Harith. It was big for BREN Esports. It provided a lot of the zoning that BREN needed to counter the potential dives and the engages na dinadala at nilalabas ng Omega.
Yeah, again, yun yung ironic eh. Kasi the strategy of BREN Esports is protect the hero of Carl TZ. Every single player of BREN Esports, in a single moment, protektahan nila si Carl TZ. We've seen Ribo and Few protect him. Pero this situation, itong instance na to, just the knock up from the Yuzong was and the Popol and Koopa as well was enough to secure the victory. And again, the funny narrative is 0-1-7 si Carl TZ didn't get the opportunity to showcase the the KDA, pero it was his teammates, no, na parang pare, sama-sama tayo dito.
Oh man, Flap TZ, the last MVP of this series. I want to say I've seen this kid nung kanyang rookie performance in a tournament outside of MOBA of MPL. At ang tinawag sa kanya is, parang RG Gods eh.
RG Gods.
Tapos, nung pinakauna niya na laro professionally, this is outside of MPL, na-criticize siya. Kasi kabado. Kabado daw yung galawan niya, na para siyang nagdagdag-doubt. But this time, after ilang months, that was just January of this year. At this time, this is almost November, we are seeing Flap TZ very confident. I think that him being in BREN Esports at inaruga siya sa BREN Esports with good teammates na activate yung pagiging RG Gods or yung, the skill level, the mechanical skill of
yung
this guy.
Yung nakita talaga ng BREN kung bakit siya kinuha. And I got to say, the fact na in your rookie season, in the championship game, kayo yung MVP, I'm pretty sure Flap TZ is feeling really special right now. He's becoming
100%.
more and more confident about himself. And I know ang daming memes ni Flap TZ na kamukha niya si JYP, pero Flap, sabihin mo na anong JYP, ako si Flap TZ, ako naging MVP ng championship game. BREN lang malakas. Flap easy, man. Other than Flap, though, I feel like we also have to give a lot of focus here for Lusty. Dalhin natin in the earlier games ng BREN ESPORTS dito. Sabay nga natin kinol yung naka 3-man titles race siya. The last 3, what was Lusty's effect in this whole series?
It was, let's just say, yung comfort. Iba yung may extra knowledge, yung extra in-game knowledge. At bukod dyan, alam mo yung parang confident ka if you're a core, kahit anong gawin mo kasi meron kang kuya na para sa'yo. Parang, Kuya Lusty, binubugbog ako nito. Ikaw na bahala. And even in clashes, I think yung fact na may clutch performances from Lusty, this guy is also a champion before. At nakakita rin tayo ng gold medalist performance, di ba? This guy knows how to win games. And all he needed was, you know, players or core players na may tiwala sa kanya.
Yeah. And just to add to that, this is his second MPL alongside Ribo. So, ang dami nating bagong second timer dito. This just shows experience and pati si Few, 'di ba? And pati yung yung sustainable career, no. Ito tandaan niyo tong mga taong to. Nakita natin to since season 1, season 2 pa, 'di ba? And they're still here proving na kaya pa rin talaga makipagsabayan even against the pool of fresh talents, no? You know, yung mga young bloods, sila Flaptizi, diba? Yan yung mga kasabay nila. They're still capable of going toe-to-toe with these players.
I think you have to commend the management of BREN Esports for that and what they're doing for the esports scene, diba?
Yeah.
Imagine this, they had a comeback ni parang homecoming ni Ducky as a coach dito sa Pilipinas. And they utilize all of the resources well. Kung iisipin, nakakatawa talaga ang BREN dahil all-star team sila, diba? Parang everybody wants to look at that. But actually, hindi lahat ng all-star teams ay nagiging successful. At this time, though, nakita natin sa MPL on how to utilize that, how to provide them with the adequate resources at paano mag-provide ng tamang parang training, kumbaga sa kanila. This is what we see as the results.
Yeah, you need great people behind the scenes to be able to handle all those. I'm not saying na may ego sila, pero of course, when you're a bunch of all-stars, and you've been here for a long time, hindi yung posible na lumabas yung ego. But the fact that you have a strong coaching staff behind the scenes to handle those egos and then at the same time to be able to just really bring out the best that they can. It's a testament to the organization of BREN Esports. In a well-deserved, finally, nakuha nila yung championship na. Kasi parang ang tagal nila sinasabi na BREN lang malakas. But they weren't able to back it up with a championship. But now, this is a regular season where they dominated, a playoffs, where they only had 2 losses, you can definitely say BREN lang malakas.
Technically speaking, ang BREN as the franchise, di ba, parang hindi pa sila nagkakaroon ng championship. Although this is a second time for the team.
For the team.
And the players.
And the players.
But BREN Esports is a franchise.
This is their first MPL.
Isa na lang yung natira dun sa na-acquire nila. That's their Ribo. So, even when this is like that, the second time, masasabi nga natin na what you just said, matagal nang kinaklaim na BREN lang malakas. This is finally that exclamation point.
Period.
Dito.
Spirit sana sa
Exclamation point, period. Parang it works. It both works. And what worked throughout the series, of course, was the Barats pick. And I just have to say, I feel like this wasn't just a story of the Barats until we started noticing it. It was a story of sino ang makakakuha ng unang purple buff or sino makakasteal, punish that.
Again, keys to victory. If you look back to the keys to victory for both teams, no, the purple buff was the decider for both of the teams. Kasi ang laking advantage kapag nanakaw mo yung purple buff ng kalaban. Effectively, you shut down the entire early game of a team. And these two teams are really reliant with the early game purple buff. Nakita natin si Cartesi, diba, na walang purple buff on Claude, easy snowball. Nakita natin si Hajizi na nakawan ng flame shot pana ni Selena, snowball, diba? It's a pattern And these two teams being similar to each other, they win and lose in the same manner.
Ang nakita natin dito sa Grand Finals, ito yung perfect example ng evolution na tinatawag na meta. Parang merong OP heroes na alam natin, may mga Lancelot, may mga Yi Sun-Shin. And then all of a sudden, may mag-a-appear na hero na sinasagot lahat yon. Tapos, siya naman bigla yung pinakamalakas. And then teams start to experiment, ano ba yung dapat sagot dito, ano ba yung tamang counter. Eventually, teams will just ban it out and then show us something different like Harith for the last pick. Who would have thought na sa MPL Season 6, ang winning na hero ay Harith.
No? Yung sinabi nating pinakamahinang Final
Valir
Four.
was a hero na hindi pinaprioritize
Yes.
nung Season 6, but he is a champion
Last
hero.
2 games. Last 2 games, 100% win rate.
Yeah. That Valir pick was really big for them nung game number 5.
Exactly.
Not mistaken. And man, we can really just dissect every single game of
Kulang
it.
oras,
Without
kailangan.
even, kulang ng oras eh. Hinintay lang namin yung BREN Esports dito. Of course,
Yeah.
we want them to rejoice in the moment na magsa-celebrate sila. They are the champions. They deserve all the time that they need na mag-ingay to celebrate with one another here. Now, let's once again look back into the games here. Yes, you mentioned, both of you guys mentioned actually, that you have to lessen the possible picks here for Flap, which makes sense. But why is that also something that that BREN needed to do laban sa Omega?
Yung limit ng ano?
A limit ng side
hero.
laners potentially, yeah.
Because if you look at the matchup, sobrang daming heroes na pwedeng i-block against Hayes and against Haji Z. Doon pala nagkakaipad na sila. If you try to remove other options then, if you try to ban out side laners, you can essentially limit the hero pool that they can pick. And that's why both teams, yung mga winning matches nila, first picks. Kasi nag-uubusan sila ng heroes. Even though the enemy side gets 2 picks, yung first pick kasi sobrang importante nun. It dictates how the enemy drafts accordingly. That's the battle of coaches or drafters na sinasabi natin paulit-ulit. Sinasabi natin may invisible war. Kasi yung first pick na yun, ang laking mental block nun sa drafter na kalaban.
Ang na-mention ko dito kay Manjin, tawag ko dito is the power pick. Kumbaga yung pick na yun, pag pinik mo siya dun sa slot na yun,
Yes.
para siyang may nababan na sa kalaban. Kasi for example, Barats, if you pick that up, kahit hindi
Can't
mo
pick
binan yung Ling, kahit hindi mo iban yung
Exactly.
yung Roger, hindi siya pwede i-pick ng kalaban.
Yes.
Right? That's also kind of true with Yuzhong in a way. Parang ayaw mo na ng hindi malakas na side laner kasi pag hindi ka tumapat sa Yuzhong, nakita natin sa Flap TC, di ba? There's really weak laners or weak picks. Kaya naman, importante sa draft. I always say that a draft is hindi siya iba yung lineup. Lineup is yung hero composition na lumabas. Ang draft ay yung order ng picks kung paano nangyari yung mismong lineup. And you can see na, we will spend, honestly, I will spend like an hour or so just for
3
one
hours,
draft now.
no?
3 hours. Para lang i-explain kung gaano kaganda yung mga nangyayari. But we are just so amazed with this.
And something to add there, one of the trends na notice ko din sa drafts ng series na to is that the most important picks, other than the first one, were also the last 3. So the last 2 and then the last one, the last pick in the draft here. Is that a parang testament or just an indication of where we are in the meta and the types of heroes that we put importance to?
I think it's more of game understanding rather than meta involvement. Kasi, like for example, yung nangyari kanina, di ba? We actually managed to predict the last 3 heroes. And the thing is, if you're able to do that, you have this game understanding. You have this deep knowledge of how games work. And let's say, gamitin natin yung Hylos